All right, everybody. Welcome to episode 71 or 77 of the Unpaid and Underrated podcast by crew, for crew, about the crew, and probably mocked relentlessly by the crew in Discord. I am Big Joey. You have heard me 71 or 77 times. I'm joined by Big Keith
Howdy, howdy.
and our friend Big Lou Nutter.
We made it.
We made it. We did it. Congrats, crew. You know, I said to Morgan right before we recorded, I can't believe I didn't get any.
Oh, you messed up.
Yeah, I did. I messed up hard. Maybe if
I
she
still
could.
have I still have the keg that I got for my birthday. We haven't run out of it yet, so I got that still.
We're talking Fireball, by the way. People can't see us.
Naturally.
I kind of had a brain fart out there, and all I heard was Joey say he was talking to Morgan, and then he just didn't get any. And I'm like, wait, what did I miss? And I was so confused for 30 seconds there. Good man. It wasn't a Saturday here, so I didn't get any either.
It'd be like that sometimes.
So is Fireball all you got tonight, Lou, or do you have a whole cooler of party tricks for us?
You know what? I had to cave in. I have every now and then I get a little bit of a hankering for a couple different beers. I'm not normally a wheat beer or IPAs or anything like that, but every now and then I get a craving for a Boulevard wheat. Boulevard's a company out of Kansas City, so pretty close to here. It's pretty available here. So yeah, so I got one of these here. I had to make sure and open it. It's not a twist top. I did have to make sure and open it with my lovely Massonomics bottle opener that I was gifted. So
Nice.
had to make sure and use that. I use that every excuse I get. And then, yes, naturally, I have a few Busch Lattes here waiting for me.
Good man. I'm knocking out the.
No, you go ahead because I got a new one.
Okay, so I don't think I've had this one yet. It is the second or third Trader Joe's sparkling water head. This one's lime, and it's good. That's you give it a 7.5 out of 10 on the glaze scale. I thought I had one hop water left. And I was very disappointed when I opened up the crisper and there wasn't any hop water left. So I'm gonna have to keep my eye out and try to figure out where I can buy that not super expensive, because when I just priced it at Wegmans, it was like fucking $2.50 a can.
Morgan has snuck something new into my cooler in my strong and silly thing.
Definitely never coming out.
Yeah, I know. It's like when it's time for the reveal, it's going to take me a minute. So I will say on the top it says organic and real juice. So I'm kind of guessing I'm not going to enjoy this.
Oh, I hope it's better than a spin drink.
That
wasn't.
No, that was
Yeah.
a good sound.
Carbonated juice, I have found I'm not a fan of.
Okay, so I'm getting mint. Probably getting some rosemary out of there too.
Oh, so this is a straight up what's in the can. Like, okay, so you have not revealed yet. I gotcha.
It was all cherry vanilla. This is real blueberry sparkling water with a subtle hint of elderflower. Oh, we'll choke that down. It's got probiotics, which I'm immediately going to ruin with beer and whiskey. So,
Hey, that's what helps digest it all. It's called balance.
yeah. And Keith, you did yours there?
Yeah. It's sparkling lime from Trader Joe.
I was too busy getting mint wrong. How do you get mint wrong?
It's different. It's different when it's mixed with something else. Like if you have mint and chocolate, yeah, it's obviously that's going to be a little bit easier to distinguish. But when you got it with a handful of other flavors, I would not be surprised about not being able to get that one right.
All right, what shirt you got on there?
Oh, we talking to me?
Yeah, sure. You go first.
You know what? I picked this shirt specially just for this. This very shirt I'm wearing is the very coveted Massonomics Bench Heavy shirt. Fun fact about this particular shirt is it is the very first Massonomics shirt that I purchased back in 2019, I believe, when I started really following into Massonomics. And then I have to talk about my shorts too. Because I feel like I have to be the one to show off these shorts.
Mm-hmm.
These are not the number ones. These are not the number ones because I did get number one. These are number 10. But number one is going to be going into a shelf and be hanged on the wall somewhere. I just don't know where it's going to be hanged yet.
For anyone that's not catching that, he's was it you and Eddie basically were more or less like prehistoric moles to get the curl short made, right?
I had put a bug in Tanner and Tommy's ear for a very long time. I think it was after the bench shorts. After the bench shorts came out, I kept putting a bug in, just saying, "It's like, oh, gold curl shorts, like those would be great. Those would be great." I even took him a pristine ride in my Malibu I had at the time to try and swim him into it, which obviously that must have worked. Which, by the way, having that Malibu packed with 3 men over 230 pounds weighed that down quite a bit.
And just for our listeners too, Lou is rocking the Karen cunt up. Oh, no, the Karen cut on the bench heavy shirt. Wow, we might have to edit that out, Nate. That was
nope.
Wow.
Nope, leave that one
Leave
in.
It in. Leave it in.
I'm sending it to Karen.
Sorry, Karen. Oh wow.
Do it live.
I'm gonna say it sounded like cut. Sorry about that. So I'm rocking out the NWC shirt because I'm pretty sure we're gonna talk about wrestling a lot tonight. So I had to wear my wrestling adjacent shirt.
What?
I dressed up in particular just for Lou as well. I am wearing the esteemed I can't even see it because of my background. So that is the Macho Wars shirt.
Oh.
So it's the original Star Wars cover or poster, but Macho Man is Luke Skywalker, Elizabeth is Leia, and Hulk Hogan is Darth Vader. And that has been spoken about before on this podcast because this was the shirt that I wore at the end of the 2 weeks of torturing somebody pretending I didn't know the difference between Star Wars and Star Trek. And then I showed up in this shirt and pretended I had no clue why it was wrong.
No, I think the best talking about Star Wars is we're at a Walmart one time in a town that my brother lives in. We're just looking through the posters. And I look over and tell my brother, I'm like, brother, I'm going to be honest with you. I've never seen one Star Wars movie all the way through. And I think some nerd had a heart attack about 10 feet away. And he looks over and he's like, I'm going to pretend I didn't just hear that.
Yeah.
It made me chuckle knowing that I ruined somebody's day because I haven't watched one full movie of Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. No, I gave this person at work like a coronary when they said, I thought you were talking about Star Wars, not Star Trek. And I just said, what's the difference? And then they went off for like an hour in a district chat full of 50 other people, and I just kept leading them on. But I don't know if you actually. So this one is a test too. Do you recognize the background?
There's too much you in it. I do not. I know as soon as you say it, I'm going to feel like an idiot.
WCW NWO Revenge.
No.
The very first cutscene. This is it. And this truck is stopped by Sting on the side of the road. I
can't tell you the last time I played that game, man. I was always more into old school WWF as opposed to WCW because I felt like WCW is ironically what AEW does now, kind of takes all the older stars from WWF and brought them over there.
But it was the superior video game.
I'm still a really big fan of WrestleMania 2000. It had its glitches, it had its thing wrong with it, but just the pure nostalgia of it, you can't. The intro video to it, the gameplay, as terrible as it was, the graphics and everything, like there's so much nostalgia that
and all of that was made by the same studio that made WCW and NWO Revenge. So the games were almost perfectly similar, but they did it first.
Yeah, naturally. I mean, somebody's got to start and somebody's got to copy.
Yep. All right. Do you want to rate last week's episode?
Yeah, so we had Big Joe Stanek on there. Definitely a lot of sets and reps and USAPL and IPF, which I'm a big fan of all. Like, I'll consume anything powerlifting. I'm pretty balls deep into all that, so I didn't have any issue listening to it all. A lot of guys, I think we were giving it a hard time in the Discord about how boring it was or whatnot. But it's like, I don't know. I'll always eat up any powerlifting talk. So we'll go ahead and give it a 5 out of 5 iPod touches for last week's episode. Massonomics Gym iPod touches. Somehow that got erased from the notes.
All right, Lou, what do you got?
As I said before, I am very far behind on all of my podcast listening. I think the last podcast I listened to was the Lamplighter episode of the Let's Get Stupid podcast because I had to go back and see how dumb I sounded and just try and recollect some of the things that happened there because there were a handful of beers that were drank that night and there was a handful of events going on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll definitely dive into that a little later for sure. That's definitely I want to get into that for sure.
Okay, so how many? What's your rating there?
Do you have a hypothetical rating of what it would be if if you could see into the future? What do you think you would rate this episode with Joe Stanek?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, it
judge
did have
by
Tommy and Tanner.
well, naturally. Fine, it's gonna be five Apple or Massonomics Apple iPod touches.
What about you, Joey?
Yeah, I got right bored as usual listening to USAPL versus IPF versus NRA versus NWO versus all that. I zoned right out. They did make me laugh a lot, but yeah, I definitely wasn't that. There was a couple times I was shouting, I think, corrections about something where they were trying to guess somebody's name. So it's getting a 5. It's getting a 5 iPod Massonomics touches. Massonomics iPod touches. Massonomics touches. Going back to Steve.
One thing that did stick out that I didn't mention in my review was Joe was saying that he had been in Pennsylvania, or had been in Pennsylvania with his family for like a month. It's like I couldn't imagine as an adult like just having the freedom to just go chill with my parents for a month. I think that'd be really cool. But after like 5 days, maybe like I don't know what that like. I couldn't spend a month with my parents. Like I'm sorry, like a week, a week max.
Yeah.
So I found that.
So yeah, we had our time for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all had our time to spend a bunch of time with our parents. I mean, just like you said, I love my parents to death, but yeah, it gets to a certain point where it's just like I need to go. I need to go home. I need to leave.
I don't want to do this anymore.
So I had a little Costco trip this week. I tried out the new cookie. It was so. I mean, I like a chocolate chip cookie. I thought it was okay. It was warm. It was like $2.85, $3, something like that. Like it wasn't bad. I like churro better just because the churro is different. Like I can get a chocolate chip cookie anywhere, like literally anywhere. I can't find the decent like that was like a really good churro. So it's very saddened that the churro's gone. Did take advantage. I got I got the hot dog and the drink for the first time just because my wife and I ran and got some meals and stuff from Costco during the week. And the guy did so I ended up eating half the hot dog that she didn't want to eat. It was okay. I mean, the hot dog for $1.50 to get a soda and like any kind of like meat in a bun was pretty crazy that they literally sell it for $1.50. So it is definitely a loss leader. And what else? There was one other thing I got there. Oh, I think I got a chicken bake, but I'd already had that before, so that wasn't a big thing.
Their hot dogs are very, very underrated. And I've eaten all sorts of hot dogs, cheap hot dogs, expensive hot dogs, fancy hot dogs. Costco's hot dogs are pretty pristine.
Yeah,
there are some. Oh yeah. I'm sure you've seen all the memes about people wanting to raise the prices of Costco's hot dogs, and everybody just slamming that down right away.
Yeah, I could imagine their sales would definitely dip a little bit if they, got rid of that combo.
Realistically, probably not, but I mean, we can think that.
Speaking of sales dipping, I mean, so we saw big Vince McMahon's getting hit with another lawsuit, but did he actually end up stepping? Is he still?
I think he's fully stepped away.
Okay, like I know he stepped down, but then he came back and then he went away again or something. So it was.
I think with WWE being part of TKO now, I think he's pretty well pushed out. I'd have to go look into the specifics of it because I was just getting caught up on the the new stuff that's going on with him. But it sounds like he's pretty much the only thing that ties him to WWE right now is just his name. He doesn't have any creative control. He doesn't doesn't have any situations with as far as who's buying him out or anything like that. Hey.
Well, yeah, when I told her that, so Lou's got a fireball.
Of course he does.
Yeah, we fucked up.
It's all right. I'll come prepared.
I will be the only sober one in 2 hours.
Yeah, buddy, and I got to get up nice and early tomorrow.
I get a full day tomorrow and then a lift party, so I'm not drinking at all.
I still got to train tomorrow too. Fridays are my favorite training days. Not lately. It's been high bar squats, and I hate those.
Ooh, yeah. I've been with my medical condition with the lump on my back. High bar squats don't exist in my program anymore. So that's been a unique thing. Basically, just I guess I can only do low bar and SSB now. So like literally a third of my like variations is gone. But if I put a bar in my that lump I have right now, it swells up for like a week and is painful like a motherfucker. So no
Presuming that
solution.
takes out, presuming that takes out anything like transformer, safety squat
So
bar,
so
anything
like
like that.
so if the surprisingly enough the transformer's good because it's the padded. I was really worried it wouldn't like so I'm good. If it's padded I can go I'm fine. But if I put like a gnarly barbell right on it, then I just can't do it. So you know
That makes sense.
we'll see if anything comes of that. But the guy was like, yeah, really don't know what this is. You can come back in a few months for imaging if you want, but I don't think I can really do anything for it surgically. I was like, oh, okay.
It's from the episode of X-Files. If you remember, there was the guy that had the conjoined twin that could come off and it would go and kill people.
God, could you imagine another Keith?
Yeah.
I could use the help though with like doing. I would just make him do all the grunt work if I did have like a conjoined shin. That I could like hold the phone. I could just give him my phone and just make him do all the podcast grunt work while I just went about my day. That would be interesting
Make things easier for you.
for sure.
Not for him, but definitely for you.
No, because then he could watch the Massonomics YouTube video and give me the cliff notes for it. But I'm guessing neither of you had a chance to watch that this week because it just hit today at 4 p.m.
Yeah, I'm. Thursdays are my only day or Thursdays are my non-training days. So usually, trying to get more into a habit of when I come home, we actually have a day where Alex and I just sit, relax, actually be a couple during the week, all that fun stuff there. So, busted out the grill today. I mean, it is a whopping 33 degrees out. So I figured it was a good day to bust out the grill and grill up some sirloin. So
Absolutely.
in true Midwest fashion.
I know what I barbecued today too. 6 degrees Celsius, and I was like, "Fuck it, I want those sausages. I'm going out."
What's that in American?
Fuck to find out, dude. +9 times 32 or something like that. I don't know.
Times 2.2. Oh, Nathan, that's kilograms.
Yeah, I was say wrong units there.
I know. It was a bit. But okay. So anyway, the video this week was Tanner and Tommy both doing basically like gym hacks for getting out of the gym quicker. Making.
How long was that video? Because believe me, I tried to watch it.
It was like 12 minutes, 11 minutes. It was under 15, more than 9. But I was gonna give them shit because they went through everything, like not addressing home gyms or like tips and trips for people in home gyms. But then like the last thing they did mention was home gyms. I kind of talked about that for a good few minutes. So I was like, all right, cool. They at least covered like because when I say like out of the 300 crew, or at least like the 100 super active ones, like 75% of us have home gyms. So I was like, are they really not going to talk about home gyms at all when like so many of their followers and fans and crew are home gym gurus? But
that's a different bear to deal with, I would imagine. At least because I know, like, if I had a home gym, I'd have a hard, like, my training sessions would either be really, really short or really, really long because it would be, go do a set. It's like, okay, I'm going to rest here. It's like, I guess I'll go inside or go upstairs or whichever it might be. And then, just keep going on, or at least break it up into spurts or something like that.
It can be challenging. I'm sure Joey has it worse because I'm sure if he hears like a kid screaming and he has to like run upstairs or something, whereas me, it's like, I'm pretty much I don't get pulled out of the gym. I just, I don't have anyone there like waiting for an equipment. So it's like, okay, if I want to sit here for 11 minutes between my next set and I get going down a rabbit hole on Instagram, or, I want to actively be posting my stories and my training the whole time. So like, that's where I struggle. So I actually work out faster in a commercial gym. Like I can do like my 2-hour workout in like an hour 20 in a commercial gym, but fuck going to a commercial gym.
Yeah, I had the luxury of working out at a Planet Fitness a couple weeks ago. That was quite the deal.
I saw.
I'll give you a hint. Do not try and bench there. It is not a fun time.
They even give you shit for benching just because you're benching like 3 plates plus, and they're just giving you a hard time.
No.
Or
they only have Smith machines, so just the mechanics of everything just throws everything off. So when I start, it basically feels like I'm starting doing a decline, but then when the bar descends, and then if I start it right the first time, it feels like I'm starting off doing a decline. But then when I get down to my chest, then it feels like a normal bench. But then just the pressing mechanics just feel off, weird, everything like that. And I don't want to set off the lunk alarm quite yet because I don't want to get kicked out because I still need it for the vitamin D benefits for the time being. So I'd rather not get kicked out because I don't think Alex would be very happy with me if I did that.
No, that all makes sense. And that's strange too, because some Planet Fitnesses. Well, okay, so my last experience with the Planet Fitness was like 8 or 9 years ago. My buddy had one of the black cards, and when I'd work out of town with him, I could just tag along with him to go to the gym for free. And depending on which one we went to, there were a couple. So I say I went to like 5 over the course of a couple years. Like 1 or 2 of them did have a actual free weight bench, and all the other ones were Smiths. So I didn't know if they phased all those out or if it's just like a franchise by franchise kind of decision.
That I couldn't tell you. I've only been to 2 of them, and the 2 that I have seen, like they have benches, but they don't have like actual bench press setups. It's just for dumbbells that go up to 75, and then a line of Smith machines that go down the row.
But yeah, I mean, for $9.99 a month, I guess it's worth it. I suppose it's hard to beat.
Being that I'm going to make fun of Planet Fitness as much as I can because it's easy to do. But at the same time, like I'm not afraid to admit, like if you're going there just solely to do accessories or something like that, it's not a bad gym to go to. Like if you want to go there and just get a quick pump, feel good about yourself for a little bit, nothing wrong with that. Like that's a good place to do that. Plus, if you get the black card, you can go get some tan and get some of that precious vitamin D.
Mm.
Well, I think that wraps up general topics. Lou, do you want to hit us with a little Massonomics sponsor read?
Yeah, I think I might be able to do that. Hold on, let me get it in here real quick.
You got to get into character.
So this yeah, exactly. So this podcast is brought to you by Massonomics, based out of beautiful Western Northeast South Dakota. If you're looking for the best beer-inspired apparel or other lifting apparel, as well as other accessories, and also the absolute standard of drink safety, go ahead and head over to Massonomics.com today and find everything that you will ever need. Also, you have the option of becoming a supporting member to be able to help support the podcast and support everything as they do. Last I heard, they have 3 remaining spots left. So go ahead and head there, sign up today. And again, go to Massonomics.com for all of your lifting apparel needs.
Very well said. Very well said. With that, I think it's time to get our guest on the horn. You want to kick everybody out?
Yep, kick everybody out and
Discord out.
Yeah, get out of here.
Hey, Lou, is that you, buddy? Is that Big Lou?
Yeah. Oh hell yeah.
Welcome to the Unpaid and Underrated podcast. We're glad to have you, man. I think this is like the 17th podcast you've been on that I've that I'm a fan of.
You know, I've been making my rounds. That's the best way I can say that.
Now, out of all the podcasts you've been on, have you actually listened back to your episodes, or are you just like, nah, I'm good, I'm not gonna listen to them?
I usually try to, just because 1, I want to see how dumb I sound. 2, I want to try and at least critique myself a little bit. Be like, all right, what points did you talk too fast? At what points did you stutter? At what points did you just completely blank out and not say anything and look like an idiot, or just stuff like that? But and then just kind of like, especially when I was on the Let's Get Stupid one, I wasn't on it the whole time, so there was parts that I wasn't on. Went back, listened to, saw what else I missed, all that fun stuff. But yeah, I've had a fun time doing each of them.
Awesome. So just if anyone's been living under the rock and isn't familiar with who Big Lou Nutter is, do you want to go ahead and tell them where they can find you on Instagram and, who you are?
I keep things pretty easy. My Instagram handle is Lou Nutter, just half my first name and my last name. Keep it nice and simple there, nothing fancy. Pretty easy to find. Most of the time I post a lot of lifting videos. I post pictures or videos of my dog and other random stuff. Alex finds her way on there every now and then too. So yeah, easiest way to find me, at least as far as that aspect, is Instagram. I'm fairly active on there.
Perfect. So this is the Unpaid and Underrated podcast, but obviously we're here for Massonomics. So what brought you to Massonomics?
The first thing I ever saw of Massonomics when I was perusing through Instagram is I saw the lift shirt. I saw a couple people wearing them. There was one of the guys that goes to one of my gyms here. I saw a picture of him wearing a lift shirt. Thought it was awesome because it was I always appreciate a good, beer inspired lifting parody or lifting inspired beer parody, or whichever suits that best. And then so I started following them, saw all that good stuff. And then when they came out with the bench heavy shirt, that was basically my sign from the heavens to go ahead and order and start supporting this company. And the other thing that I love about Massonomics too is that I was born in Omaha. I've been living around Omaha pretty much my entire life. So nice little Midwest area. So I have a really big affinity for companies in the Midwest. Massonomics, obviously in Western Northeast South Dakota, part of the Midwest. And like I said, I have an affinity for supporting companies in the Midwest. So that was one of them that was another thing that really drew me to them. Bought the bench heavy shirt, and it's been an absolute downward spiral for my wallet since then.
Jeez. So I'll tell you, I was on a call today in this exact seat, and I got bored, as I always do whenever I'm on a conference call related to work. And I realized I keep all of my thank you cards in this desk. And I pulled out a stack. And I just kind of was like, okay. And I removed the stickers and I removed all of the other, like the calendars and stuff. And I think I have a full deck.
Nice.
Like this is out of pocket. Just exactly how many of these I have.
Is that what the Gen Z kids these days say? Out of pocket?
Out of pocket. It's Riz. It's because Massnomics has that Riz. So
I
that
don't know what that means.
God, I don't know. Riz stands for charisma. I found
Yes.
that out.
That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. I hate fucking acronyms that don't make sense. And like,
it's not an acronym.
I know, but like, yes, that's not. But it reminds me of all the other shit these fucking young kids do, where like they'll type an acronym, but they'll basically they'll have one of the letters in it, but or like if it's a 2-word thing, they'll use 3 letters to do it, and I'm like, what the fuck? That doesn't make
What?
if it's a phrase, they'll instead of just having one letter per word of the phrase, they'll use multiple letters of one of the words and then singular letter on the other. And I'm like, I don't understand how that's the accurate. If you're gonna make an acronym, literally, it's only got to be one letter per word. The way they do it, they're like, what was it? The on God like thing. It's like the way they fucking say that. It's like ONG. It should just be OG. Fucking for on God, you don't because that's the
no, because OG means original gangster.
Well, yeah, but still, fucking then just say fucking on God. It's fucking 2 fucking more letters.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Real question.
I don't know.
How many times a week do you say "get off my lawn"?
Yeah, I was about to ask. Did you also have to walk to school uphill both ways? These kids, they have it. Yes, if I didn't finish my dinner, they would lock me in the basement and beat me. And now they can't even do that. Fuck.
I like to vent a little bit from time to time. I don't know. I follow way too many young friends that like I can't keep up with the vernacular.
Based on everything you just said, are you sure they're your friends?
Yes.
Because it sounds like you're pretty mad about their existence.
No.
Oh fuck! I need a beer. All right, Big Lou. Here's the thing I didn't know. Yeah. Let's get the official question out of the way.
Ooh.
Is there something you didn't buy because you said, I'm not going to need that, and now you wish you had bought it?
I feel like you're talking about something in particular.
Nope.
And I have this fun fact. Oh.
Nope. We ask every guest this.
We're talking about Massonomics merch.
Yeah, Massonomics merch.
Oh, I can tell you one in particular. The Jefferson Deadlift League shirt.
Yep.
They came out with the stickers for it, and I have that sticker. I have it on one of my tumblers because I think I had got 2 of them. So for some of the more coveted stickers, like when the Buddy Light sticker came out after it became contraband, I kept one of those. I taped it on my fridge and ended up getting a couple more because I didn't realize how many stickers they had of them still. So I had one of them taped to my fridge still. I had a Lift Short sticker taped onto my fridge as well because I didn't want to use that, and now apparently that the original is contraband.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's frustrating.
Very much. Yeah, because the Lift shirt is another one I need to buy since I got fat and I need to update all my shirts. So yeah, it's a fun time there.
It's funny that you said that because I went looking for. So I actually wanted to wear. I have an original Gold Dust shirt from his second run about the time where he came back with the stutter. And I was like, I'm going to wear that. I'm going to blow Lou's mind. But I guess I put it away because we've talked about before that I'm growing out of all my shirts. I found all my small Massonomic shirts that I refuse to put away. So I was just thinking today, like, it's so funny that you brought that up because I've been complaining about not fitting into any shirts for the past 2 weeks. I have been buying Massonomic shirts for 3 shirt sizes. I'm now up to larges from the smalls that I originally. It's starting to get expensive, but like it's also fine.
Oh, me.
Yeah,
because I used to do what I used to do is I would buy an XL for like my regular t-shirts that I would wear, and then I would buy a size large for my cutoffs, and then I started getting bigger. Then my size large cutoffs started being a little bit snug for my liking. So then I upgraded all my cutoffs to size XL, but I was just kind of slowly doing that. But then I started realizing that XL t-shirts were getting a little bit snug on me. So I decided to buy a couple XL shirts. Like there's a couple shirts that are an exception, like the Huge Life shirt. I'm thankful that I picked those two up before that stuff happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thankful I picked those up because those shirts run a little bit bigger anyway. So the t-shirt fits amazing as a size XL, and then the cutoff fits amazing as well. It's a little bit baggier, even with the XL being a cutoff, but it still fits amazing. Yeah. For the majority of shirts, I just bought another bench heavy shirt a couple weeks ago. And so then this one, which has always been a t-shirt, because this is my most coveted shirt and it'll never get thrown away. And so, so now I'm in the slow process of upgrading all my shirts. But my wallet's not going to be very happy about that. So it goes sometimes. Well, the way she goes, boys.
The way she goes, boys.
Have you at least been able to figure out your porch pirate issue that you were having from all those assholes snagging your guys' packages?
Well, I don't live in that apartment complex anymore, so that is no longer my problem.
There you go. That's a good thing. I remember that from one of your previous podcasts I was listening to.
Here's the frustrating thing about that too, is that so when they ransacked that package, they didn't steal everything from it. They just stole certain things from it. In that package, they stole one item from it. There was a container of Let's Get Stupid pre-workout. There was a container of Killer Juice in there. And there was a size 2X t-shirt that said, "Build the chest, fuck the rest." This is my order from Huck Finn Barbell. And I find the box in a way different area, like inside the building. My building for my apartment was a secured entry. So you had to have a fob to even get into the building. So it had to be somebody inside the building, or at least somebody that gave them access in the building, that was going through the entire floor, going through everything. Like I remember that day when I found that, I had 3 other packages, took them to their doors, knocked on theirs, just said, "Hey, like just let you know, like this is happening if you don't already know." And they're like, "Oh yeah, we know, we've had it happen a couple times." So I'm like, I'm gonna have to start sending everything to work. But so yeah, now I moved into a different Bellevue, and it's an actual house. So now I don't feel like I don't have as much of an issue with porch pirates. But apparently people get wild when there's apartment complexes, because there was a really bad issue in my building for a while. But that ain't my problem anymore.
Nice. Yeah, that's
not my problem.
Nice. Boosh latte time.
Okay, we did that one. It's got your job in here, and one thing that I kind of don't do is talk about people's jobs. There was one exception, because the dude was like a fucking archaeologist. It was Garrison, and a Big Andrew. So like I had questions about that. Like, Keith, what do you want to know about Lou being a chiropractor?
None. I've been told by multiple listeners that they want more backstory and just information on the fucking crew. So I'm going to ask what they do every episode, and they can talk about as little or as much as they want to. The floor is theirs. I don't have anything specific. I thought one thing was specific. Now, did you have a degree? Are you specifically? I thought I remember hearing that you were more of a. You weren't just like, here, let me crack your back, chiropractor. You're basically, this is what's wrong, do this PT, come back and see me kind of guy. Am I?
So the fun part about, yep, I am a chiropractor. I do spinal adjusting. I try and incorporate a little bit of therapy along with it, but the clinic that I work at in particular, it does also offer physical therapy. So there's not as much of a need for me to do that, because I can have some of our other guys. Gotcha. Not saying I don't give at least some recommendations, especially for people that are a little bit more active, at least give them some recommendations, tips of what to do, all that fun stuff, especially if they're having any particular problems with certain lifts. I feel as if I've been, strength training long enough, especially specifically powerlifting long enough, that I have figured out a couple things, both trying to figure those out for myself, as well as, just trying to see some of the ins and outs of certain things that may help other people. But then the other part of what I do as a chiropractor is I do a lot of DOT physicals. So our CDL drivers that have to maintain a medical card, I do all those physicals for that, do a lot of occupational health services, stuff like that. And that has a whole whirlwind of stories that go along with that, just about people that are completely oblivious to what kind of health that they are in and what they deem as healthy. I had a gentleman one time come into me. I was doing his physical. Is when I was used to do physicals for this big truck company. He comes into me, starts going off. He's like, "Oh, I used to be perfectly healthy. And then I went to the doctor. Next thing you know, I'm on 4 medications." I'm like, brother, I don't think that means you were healthy. I think that means you've been hiding this for a very long time.
Yeah, no shit.
And yeah, just and being in a world like that where you see a lot of people, like it's weird when you go into a gym setting, especially when you go to a couple gyms where that's primarily either pretty competitive powerlifters or like pretty competitive bodybuilders. Because one of the gyms I go to has a competitor slash coach he's pretty well known, pretty competed on the Olympia stage. So he trains a lot of people too that have done pretty well, whether it's at local, regional, sometimes even national level. And like just going from that realm and then going to the truck driver realm where health isn't exactly the most focused on thing, which is ironic because they have to be healthy enough to drive.
Yeah.
So it turns into a very fun conversation at times, like having to tell people like, hey, like these are some things you really need to focus on. Like you are essentially a walking heart attack right now. Most of the time it's not quite that, but that's essentially what it will eventually come to for some of those guys. I respect the hell out of truck drivers for everything that they do, because I mean, without truck drivers, like we don't have the majority of goods and services that we have in any of our stores today.
Yeah.
Like they're the ones that ship everything across the world. They help make the country go round. They help make the world go round. But goddamn, there's a reason that there's a stereotype about those guys.
I got one brief more thing about chiropractor. Chiropractor, yeah, you got your job. So about 10 years ago, I think the first time I saw a chiropractor and didn't know any better, they were hands off essentially. They used the machine called the Pro Adjuster. Are you familiar with the Pro Adjuster or something similar to it?
I've heard of it. I'm not as familiar with it.
Is that the table you lay on and then they push you?
No. So they literally just like, it's a machine that they just go up and down your spine. It's supposed to like register the resistance, and then they go back down trying to hit the exact same spots, giving out like a certain amount of pressure per like vertebrae. And at the time I was like, oh, this is cool. But looking back now, I was like, that had to be a crock of shit, because they basically they brought you in, they put you on heat and tens for 20 minutes, and then did this Pro Adjuster thing and sent you out the door and charged fucking insurance a couple $100 probably. So I don't know. Looking back on it now, I think it was a fucking snake oil for sure.
And that's the thing is, I was going to say, it's having a chiropractor that also lifts in some sense has made a difference for me. Because the first chiropractor I went when I first hurt my hip, I went to it and he was a holistic chiropractor, and he, yeah, you already know the kind of shit he was doing, but he had this table where you'd lay on and like it would do all the work for him. He would just push down while it pushed up. And I just didn't like kind of some of the stuff, like the grounding, and he's like touching my head and touching my stomach and being like, I'm grounding you. And I'm like, what are you doing? So then I find this other guy here in the town, and you're actually reminding me that he's finally back from his parental leave, and he's a big, strong dude. And he was just like, no, I know exactly what you need. And he like would adjust my hip, and he would just do some flexor. Like, do you do that thing where you jam your thumb into the joint and you make them move their leg? Because that sucks.
Well, not necessarily that one. Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, that sucks because there's scar tissue in there. And that was so much. But suddenly I was going to see this guy once a week, because I was just like, this is an exact opposite from this other guy I went to.
That's the thing about chiropractors. Like, I know a lot of people have really, really, really negative outlooks on them, but it's like I don't want to tell them it's like, oh, you just need to go find the right one. But they're like, when it comes to chiropractors, it's not, you can ask 10 different people what they think a chiropractor does, and you're going to get 10 different answers. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous at times, but at the same time, like at the end of the day, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar who Jordan Shallow is.
I recognize the name, but I'd have to.
I don't know anybody.
Dive into the memory bank.
Prescript is a big company that he helps run. It does a lot of coaching and stuff like that. But he's a chiropractor as well, and he even kind of said it too. Like, he's a competitive powerlifter, or was a competitive powerlifter. I don't know if he's done bodybuilding shows before, even though he definitely looks like he has a physique for it. But he's even said too, it's like, I mean, I can rant on about different chiropractors all day, but at the end of the day, if like their patients are getting better, whether they just think they're getting better or they are getting better, you're still better either way. So part of that, I've tried to take that. I'm trying to be less bitter and less, judgmental as I get older, but some days it's harder. But at the same time, At the same time, I have an understanding like certain people are looking for certain things. So certain people are a great fit for those kind of chiropractors. That's not what I'm looking for. If anybody comes to me asking about trying to adjust pregnant girls or adjust babies or anything like that, I just straight up tell them, it's like, well, I mean, I could, but I'd much rather send you to somebody else that I know that's very well versed in that. So, yep, here's this for you. So, yeah, it's a fun time.
All right.
All right.
Well, we won't bug you about work anymore. You did mention basically how you were trying to move on from, dealing with, being frustrated and whatnot. But let me just go ahead and bring up something that does frustrate you, and that also frustrates me. People that don't use blinkers. And god damn, do
Oh
you have
my
any?
God.
Is there an underlying hatred for that as I have it? Because God, it is the most frustrating thing in the world, ain't it?
It's not very underlying if it just happens every day and is
Yeah,
exposed to you every day.
that's
Like it
true.
happened to me this morning too. Like so this morning I'm going to work. The road that I take to work, I have to go by a high school, and it kind of gets to one of those points where it's like you got your two lanes that are going straight, and it goes to the two left turn lanes because you turn left to go into the high school. And so I'm sitting in the right lane because that tends to go quicker sometimes because a lot of the traffic kind of diverts off to go to the left, but there's enough of it that'll still back up that left lane of the people that are going straight. So I'll stay in the right lane so I can go past it. And it's like it was one of those weird spots where I'm in the perfect spot where there's enough of a gap that I can get over, but I'm looking at the cars that are coming on the lane, but it's right at that spot where they can go left. So I'm expecting like, oh, if these guys are going to turn left, they're going to turn their blinkers on well before, let everybody else know. Nope. Everybody waits until
Nope.
the turn lanes open up and then they use their blinker, which is like, so I'm here, they're here. It's like, I'm not cutting in front of them, like especially when they're right here. I'm not cutting in front of them because if they decide that they're going straight and I try and cut in front of them, I'm getting rear-ended and that's my fault. And I ain't about to have that start my day. So, and they never use their turn signal until they're literally right here, and then they get over it. It's like, dude, just like use it for an extra 20 feet. So that tells me that you're slowing down enough to get in that turn lane, and I can gun it up at least enough to get out of the way and get going enough. It's frustrating. Yeah. So
Big Steve, friend of the podcast. He actually, I think I mentioned, taught me to drive in a sense, right? He always said that your signal is signaling your intent. It is not a request for permission. It is a signal of your intention to do something. So I think that I hate it too. And Morgan will tell you, I yell, nice signal, asshole, all day, every day for
like I've
people
yelled
that
that
just
like four
merge in
times.
front of me. Oh my God.
I
But
think
I
I've
think
yelled that 4 times today.
I also get frustrated when I have my signal on and nobody pays attention because eventually
It's
I go, okay, so I've had my signal on now for probably 500 feet and you're not letting me in. I'm going to cut you off. I signaled my intention. I wasn't asking your permission to get into your lane. I'm coming into this lane and then I have to cut people off. And I think that I'm not the jerk in that situation where if they've
I
seen
mean,
my signal,
technically it's illegal on your part to cut them off because you have to technically yield to them since they're in the lane. But at the same time, there's this beautiful thing called common courtesy where if I
yeah,
see somebody that's trying to merge over, and if I have a line full of people behind me and there's enough of a gap in front of me, I'm probably going to slow down a little bit and let
yeah,
them in.
yeah.
But that, like I said, that's common courtesy. But we all know that's not
The,
exactly the most prominent thing these
yeah,
days.
the letter of the law is not the arbiter of our morality.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, it is wrong, but I could also just slow down a minute and let people in.
But tickets also cost money, and I don't want to deal with that.
Yep. All right. So you're drinking the Busch Light. I got a Keith's. I've told this story before of me and you at the Arnold. And I think it's one of my favorite stories about, crew is an interesting phenomenon to me because before the crew, I was very secretive. Okay. If somebody asked me for my phone number, you got a little hint of this the other day when you asked me my phone number, and I was like, why, who wants it? But I get a little squirrely. But recently, people are like, "Oh, hey, I need your address to send you something." I'm like, "Duh, okay." And I'm just like handing my address out to strangers I've met once, right?
We all got your address the other day.
Yeah, yeah, thanks. So it's funny
Thanks,
that
Big
like,
Steve.
so then we're at the Arnold. I'm on one side of the strength go, you're on the other side, right? So I just start screaming, low, low. And that was how me and you first met. So I come running over, I pull a fireball out, you pull a fireball out, we have a race. And that was me and Lou meeting for like the first time in person. And then I think the last the last time I saw you, it was me, you, and Emily McGee, shout out, not crew, but still cool. Um, you were like, "Oh, I want to try a Keith's," and I kind of just handed you my beer, and you looked at it, you looked at your beer, and you handed me your beer, and then we both, without a word, just turned and walked away from each other with just like new beers.
That's great.
Brother, I'm going to tell you a secret. By that time of the day,
We were
I
both
was just happy. I was happy to be there,
Yep.
and I was just ready. I was having a fun time there.
Yeah, that
I
was
think everybody knew I was having a fun time there.
I think that was the Saturday. It was the Friday
Oh,
or the
God.
Saturday. It wasn't the Sunday because the Sunday I left early and brought home some strength goal plates. But yeah, and then the other fun Lou story is Lift Hard, Live Easy, 2023. Okay, I'm not competing. You are, and it's 10 in the morning. The flights have started, and I go walking over, and there's you standing there with Tanner and Alex, and you're drinking a beer. And I went, buddy, how are you drinking a beer at 10? And you were like, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. And I went, oh, wow. Can I have one? And you were like, yeah, they're over there in that cooler.
Yeah, I was definitely living easy that meet. That entire weekend, I was living easy. I mean, I got a beautiful wood plate, and my dog's. It's our spare bedroom. We call it my dog's room because he loves sleeping there. Yeah, I got a beautiful wooden plate that shows my efforts of living easy that weekend.
Yeah, the only reason I'm telling all these stories for the second time, I think, on this podcast is just how it's just like me and Lou never talked like outside of the internet. And then just immediately we're just like sharing drinks like psychopaths directly after a pandemic. We're just like, sure, here, like at this rate. So that was pretty funny. I wanted to share those stories again with Lou because I don't know if he
So,
remembers any of them.
I remember bits and pieces of it. I mean, it was one of those it was one of those where I wasn't in a shape to where I just wasn't remembering things. It was just I was in the shape that it was, and there was so much going on. There was so much happening. There were so many things that
Oh my
happened.
God, yeah.
That
So overwhelming that weekend.
I went back and like looked at my phone and saw some of the pictures, some of the videos, some of the Instagram stories I posted. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I spent most of my time there. Like I went and ventured off, just went and looked at some things, hung on the strength co booths for a bit. Otherwise, most of the time I was sitting in front of the Massonomics tent or the Huck Finn Barbell tent or the Obsidian Ammonia tent. And it was I drank a lot of beer. I showed up. Oh, did I even tell you guys? Did I tell you the
Your
story
flight
about
was
me
late
going
or
to the Arnold
something,
last
wasn't
year?
it? I thought
No.
something with your flight getting in late or something, right?
Something like that, except it was my fault. I flew into the wrong city.
I do remember that. You went into fucking.
I went into Cleveland instead of Columbus.
Well,
So I had
another 3-hour drive.
what I didn't. It was. I think it was
2
only
hours.
2. Yeah. So it wasn't bad, but it was just rainy the entire time, so I had to slow down a little bit. But I didn't even realize that I'm flying into the wrong city until I was already in Chicago. So I was trying to see if I can at least like book another flight, but all of them were already booked. So I'm just like, all right, what's the drive? 2 hours? That ain't bad. I used to drive 3 hours every weekend. Well, 3 hours down and the 3 hours back every weekend. So I went ahead and took that drive, and it was hilarious because like the first thing I walk in, I'm looking for Eddie because he was helping me like get set up with, or like he was helping me get in everything since everybody else is busy. And as soon as I walk in, I'm still rolling my bag into like my suitcase or my luggage into the Massonomics tent. And I don't even get into the tent. And Karen Finn runs over, just grabs a hold of me. And then all of a sudden I look over at her hand and she's got a fireball shooter sitting down by her. I'm like, well, I'm not going to say no to that.
Yeah,
that one was a long time coming.
Yeah, that was fun as hell, and I'm gonna be there again this year. I heard rumors.
I will not be there this year. I'm pretty disappointed by it, but I got a pretty good excuse. So I'm going to tell you something here. I won't share the whole story, but long story short, Alex and I are going to Mexico at the end of February, and we're getting back that Friday. I had thoughts of just go ahead and redirecting our flight straight to Columbus.
Why not?
As soon as we get back to Mexico. Brother, I know I've trained my liver pretty frequently, but I don't think my liver can handle 5 days in Mexico and then 3 days at the Arnold.
Oh yeah, I'm only doing 1 day at the Arnold this year. Yeah, no,
I
that
would still
was
do the 3. I would still do the 3 days. I would regret
I
everything.
can't
Well, not
I can't.
temporary regret, but
Well, because part of
it'd
it's
be like,
also the cost, right? So we live close enough that me and Steve are going to drive in Saturday morning. We'll get there hopefully to 11 o'clock, noon, or one. Stay for the couple of hours just to make sure we hit all the booths and say hi to all the people we need to say hi to, and then we're just leaving the next day, right? Like
I'm
we
gonna
just
say, how far is Columbus from you guys?
about 6 hours.
6 hours?
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's like a 10-hour drive for us from here.
yeah, yeah. And with Steve driving, if he takes the Honda, we might get it down to 5, based on how many stops we have to make. And yeah, it was just the last time it was like the cost associated with like the hotel, with the kids, I brought them and everything. And they didn't even go on Sunday. Steve didn't come with me on Sunday, so it was me and Steve on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday's so overwhelming that like you're gonna get there, you're gonna see all of the people you need to see. That's when all the celebrities were there, right? I think I met no, Chris was there on Friday and Saturday, but like, that's when all the big names are gonna, that's when all the big stuff happens. Friday is a more interesting time for like, I don't want to say insiders because I don't think I'm one of those, but I'm not there to see celebrities. I'm there to meet friends. Friday is
Yeah.
more interesting for that.
Yeah, and then Saturday was just a mess of everything. There were just so many people there, which I didn't, because I was talking to some of them. They were saying, "Is like, yeah, I was yeah, this is super busy, more than it was last year, but I mean, still not as busy as it was before." I'm kind of sitting there thinking, like, "Fuck, how busy was it like
Yeah.
before this?" But
Just shoulder to shoulder bullshit. And then I'll go to Brothers I'm going to make sure I end up at Brothers on the Saturday night. Because last time I went and then I had to run home because the kids needed me. Well, I don't
Yeah.
have kids this time. So we're going to leave the Arnold, go get dinner, have a nap, and then go to Brothers. So that's our plan this year.
naturally, no, I had a handful of beers there too, because I remember old Big Tom having to get put to bed, and then yeah, it was a really entertaining time.
Yeah. And then, yeah, Live Hard, Live Easy, though. You're going to be there.
Please.
Yeah, I thought so.
Of course I will be.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, I think
I'm not signed up for it right now. Who knows what the future will hold?
Well,
But,
I bet I get the feeling I've seen a few names that probably are going to back out.
yeah.
So get on the waiting list.
Yeah, well, and it might even, yeah, because like last year I wasn't planning on doing it, and then like what was it, like 4.5 weeks out, Tanner posted that thing, so it's like, oh, we got some spots open if anybody wants to take it, and I just kind of sat and thought, like, I was doing off-season training, and I had squats that were moving really, really well, so I just texted my coach, I'm like, sent him a screenshot of the meet, I'm like, what do you think about this? Just doing this just for shits and giggles, see what we can do. And he's like, fuck yeah, let's do it. All right, Tanner, sign me up.
Well, even if you don't lift, come do what I did. Be like the spectator, the screaming, getting everybody's like, yeah, the hype man. That's the word I'm looking for. That's what I did the last one.
So, I'm doing that regardless of whether I'm competing or not.
Yeah.
So I will be in beautiful Western Northeast South Dakota for the Lift Hard Live Easy 2. Probably rocking some jorts, maybe some shorty shorts, because I do have one of those pristine pairs of shorts. And yeah, bring all the cutoffs and all the Fireball and Bush Light I can get my hands on.
Well, we're gonna hold you to that, Big Louis. We better see you in July, buddy.
Oh, you will.
Lift it or not, we better see you guys.
Oh, you will see me there.
We just let's not go to BW3s this time. Let's find a different, better local restaurant, because that was such a wasted meal. It's like, why don't we find like some mom and pop place? And then fucking Big Matt and I think Damage are like, oh, let's go to BW3s. It's like, fuck BW3s. It's disgusting.
You had to B-dubs?
I don't know why, but it was so. I mean, even with Discord, it was still like
safe.
it wasn't hard to coordinate, but just like as soon as someone said they were going somewhere, it was like you can't have fucking like 12 people arguing about where they go. So it's just like, all right, as soon as someone says a place, then everyone just migrates there. So I don't know. I think it was like I was a block away from the hotel a lot of us were staying at, which was kind of like why we wanted. I think that's why people started there.
Yeah, because I remember we went there. We didn't go because we got in super late Thursday.
Yeah, you didn't. You guys didn't get the Pounders.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. Yeah, because we didn't get into town until about midnight on Thursday, and then which, by the way, I will say, like the way up, so it's about a 6 hour drive for us when we did it. And I am so happy that I had Alex with me because there are spots between Sioux Falls and basically where you turn off of I-29 to go straight over for about an hour and a half to Aberdeen. There is nothing like you, especially in driving in the dark, you can't see a goddamn thing. Like it's eerie. Like all you see is just whatever you see in your headlights. That's it. And it was a little eerie for a while. And yeah, I had Alex. She was on her phone just fighting to stay awake, and she's just reading me pro wrestling trivia questions, just going off.
Yeah, me and Big Chris are gonna have that drive. I think we just booked our flights last weekend, and we're gonna do the fly into Sioux Falls, and then drive to Aberdeen. We are still leaving Sunday. I know everyone wanted to be on Team Monday, but fuck, I'm good. Like if I miss an impromptu little thing at Massonomics Gym, I'm okay with that because I had more fun at Pounders, I think, than I did the whole weekend. So if I can recreate a little bit of that Thursday, Friday fun, I'm going to be so burnt out after the meet. I don't need another day and another several $100s to stay one more day. So I don't know. But
I get the feeling I'm going to end up renting my own car because as it stands, I'm flying in Thursday and flying out Monday. So unless I can get a Kruger from Sioux Falls on my schedule of flights.
Yeah, good luck with that. Well, I think I'd have to look at mine. I think I don't actually.
I could probably get in with you, but I can't get out with you.
Yeah,
right? Grayson said he would wait, but I'm like, I don't want to rely. I don't want to bother people.
Yeah.
But then I'm gonna rent a car, meet up with Steve. Then we're gonna have 2 cars for 2 people.
Oh, because Steve's flying in.
Hey, he's driving in.
He's driving the whole way. Yeah, he's not gonna detour to take you to fucking Sioux Falls.
No.
How far of a drive is it to Aberdeen for you guys?
It was like 20 hours, wasn't it?
It's 21 hours.
Jesus,
fuck that.
That's a long.
That's why I'm not doing it. That's why he was like, I'm gonna do it and compete. I was like, I'm not gonna do that.
All right, let me tell you something about driving and competing. It is a terrible mistake.
Yeah.
I just did a meet back in early December, and like this wasn't a long drive either. The meet was down in Kansas City. Kansas City is about 3 hours from Omaha. So I drove down to Kansas City Friday morning to go weigh in, and then I have a brother that lives 2 hours away from Kansas City. So I drove over there that same day after I got done weighing in because we were having our family Christmas there. And then Saturday morning, drove the 2 hours back over to Kansas City. And I did not anticipate it was going to have that much of effect. But yeah,
He's probably hating you.
My low back didn't feel bad. It was just the overall fatigue. It was just a combination of the overall fatigue from it. I'm sure there were other factors along with that too, but it was just one of those where it was one of those meets where everything was moving well in the warm-up room. And then I go to do my first attempt to squat and I grinded that thing out, and it was not a fun time. Like I remember going through, I did my first bench. I didn't get my first bench. And I go over to Alex. I'm like, shit, we might be in trouble, bud. And grinded out my second bench because I had no leg drive because I got called on my first for my butt coming up. And so I just did my second bench, no leg drive, and then got that up, failed my third one, which I anticipated that was going to happen after spending all my energy on the second attempt. Got my first deadlift up, failed my second deadlift, called it. I'm like, bud, we're out. We're gonna head over and go to my brother's and start drinking beers there.
Yeah, and that's just why I said after the last one, and it's not cheaper because the flights are 800, 900 Canadian.
Mine was like 750.
And that's the other thing is everybody said fly to Buffalo, it's cheaper. It the fuck is not. Flying out of Toronto is not that much cheaper than flying out of Buffalo. Customs sucks a little more. That's it. So I won't be able to bring home a lot of stuff. That's fine because when we're driving and you're just trying to book a last second hotel, right? Where you kind of get the driver just kind of turns to you and goes, I got about an hour, find a hotel. And you're like, okay, you're spending $200 to $300 for last second bookings at any hotel.
Yeah.
You're not getting anything under $200. If you get anything, because there was a couple times where we had to go to 2 places to try and get a book and I'm sleeping on the couch. So I was just like, I'm going to fly in and not fucking worry about it, especially if I'm actually competing. I don't want to be that. I'd rather be flight tired from 8 hours of flights than car tired from 21 hours of cars,
Yeah, that's a hell of a lot easier to recover from.
Yeah.
So just I think our listeners have been enjoying this, but we have been talking about the same topic for about 18 minutes. So I'm gonna steer us on to something a little more fun.
Fun police.
You got a puppy named Bruce, and you're also a fan of Batman. Is there a correlation there? I imagine. Did you name your
Oh,
dog
yeah.
after Batman?
Yeah, I named my dog after Batman. So I got, let's say, Bruce is my homeboy. Bruce is my baby. He's my big handsome boy. I'm sure anybody that follows me on Instagram has seen a handful of pictures of him. I get a lot of compliments on him too. He is a 6-year-old pit bull, and he is the biggest loving muscle dummy that I've ever had. It's one of those. He's the biggest crybaby. So Alex has 2 dogs herself. They all get along pretty well. Couple scuffles here and there, but that's what happens when you get 3 dogs, especially when they're all fighting for attention for somebody. And like she'll send me Snapchats throughout the day of just like him sitting at the edge of the couch just crying, and then I'll get a Snapchat about a minute and a half later and he's snuggled up in between, like right between her legs, just happy and content as can be. Like all he wants is just to be next to you. He's the best way I can describe him. He's the biggest loving muscle dummy. Doesn't realize he's a 65-pound ball of muscle, but he's just always happy as can be. I adopted him. It was 2018 when I adopted him, so I've had him for about 4 years. This is 28. I can't remember if it was 2018 or 2019. I've had him for a while, but yeah, he's my boy. And yes, he was named after Batman. I've been a bat. The first Batman movie I vividly remember was the '92 Batman Returns. And I remember watching that a handful of times. And the animated series is really popular when I was a kid, so I loved watching that. Went through, watched all the original not the original, but like the first 2 Tim Burton ones, and then the Val Kilmer Batman, as well as the George Clooney Batman. I remember loving those as kids, and then watching them as an adult, be like, meh.
That was Joel Schumacher.
These are a little different.
That was Joel Schumacher that ruined the Batman franchise.
You know, when you go back and watch it, you can appreciate, like, so for Batman Returns, there's certain things that I can appreciate about it, but then like I remember I was probably 21 or 22 at the time, sitting at my parents' house, laying in bed, about 3 sheets to the wind, and Batman Returns was on, or Batman Forever was on. No, it was Batman and Robin, the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, the last one.
Mm-hmm.
That one was on randomly, so I was watching that. I'm like, let's see if this is as good as I remember it. And I'm watching through it. I'm like, this is terrible.
Yeah,
but then like, even watching it as an adult now, it's kind of like one of those where it's like, yeah, this is bad, but I mean, like there's a lot of things they butchered on it as far as storyline stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like ultimately, is it entertaining? Yeah, they're kind of like the dumb things that you watch in WWE that just don't make any sense. Like you watch them, it's like, God, this is stupid, but I'm invested in this. I'm watching this still. I'm as dumb as it is and as stupid as it is, I'm still enjoying it. So they at least achieved one goal there.
So controversial question: who is your favorite Batman?
I'm going to go ahead and say it. I loved Affleck as Batman.
Yes, I knew it. Me too.
I loved Affleck as Batman.
Somebody has asked this question to me on this podcast, and that was my answer. Batfleck was my favorite.
When you take into account not to get all nerdy and stuff, are you?
Yeah, let's get nerdy.
I've never seen a Star Wars movie, but when it comes to Batman, I will give my opinion on it. So when it comes to portrayals of Batman, like I'm not dogging anybody for their portrayal of it. I thought every actor that's done it has brought a great aspect to it, George Clooney included. I felt like George Clooney was at least a great, just kind of like been there a while, like he's just the rich guy that's just putting on the persona right now, still doing what he needs to do, all that fun stuff. Whereas Ben Affleck, I thought what he did the best with it is he played that bitter old Batman that's been doing it for so long. He's seen so many people, like he's seen all the bad shit that's happened as his time as Batman, and so he's bitter and weathered in everything. And despite what other people may say about the whole Martha sequence when Batman's about ready to kill Superman.
That was silly.
It was silly, but then when you kind of think about the concept of it, it was like when you think about the concept of it and what it did for him, like you can easily see where that character change came, or that character development came for him, and where he had that kind of turnaround. Now, now the one exception I will make for Ben Affleck's Batman is the original Justice League that came out in 2017, because that movie is an absolute abomination.
Yep.
No one should ever see that movie. That movie should just be taken out of circulation, period.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
2017 Justice League.
Oh no, I've seen it. I'm just pretending I haven't.
Oh yeah, that's
Okay,
this
okay,
I,
that
Yeah.
makes
Snyder.
sense.
I watched the Snyder cut like last year. It was fucking so much different and better.
It was so,
It was a completely different movie. It was like
It
I
baffling.
agree.
made things make sense. It
Yeah.
followed along the entire plot line of what those series of movies are supposed to do.
Yeah. Yeah,
What
I
did you think
agree.
of
I do love that. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Keith.
what'd you think of the Flash, where they kind of basically made it a Keaton Batman movie with when fucking Ezra Miller completely got canceled and they wanted to make it not so much about him.
I'm not sure how much they ended up changing of it, but
He was
in
in
all
it
honesty, for
twice.
what they were,
Like, how do you mean
Well,
they made it not about him? He was in it twice.
I feel like it was a
No,
pretty pivotal.
it's
You're-
hard to
you're-
erase your main character. It's not like it's
Yeah.
Amber Heard being in the Aquaman movie. Like Ezra Miller is was the Flash for that movie. It's really hard to erase your main character.
Yeah.
But
I think they tried.
Uh, in all honesty, I enjoyed the Flash movie for what it tried to do.
No, I really liked it. No, I'm just.
There's certain things that they think they could have done different, but for what they were trying to do, I thought they did a pretty good job with it. Seeing Michael Keaton Batman in a more like in a modern era for us was absolutely heartwarming. Just brought me pure, complete joy. I'm pretty sure Christmas night I watched the movie and was just watching it and just in awe of watching Michael Keaton as Batman, as like the older version of him, and just reliving my childhood, except as an adult. So I honestly enjoyed the movie for what it was.
Yeah.
And even
Now-
seeing George Clooney at the end of it was
Yes,
that was-
seeing him come
that was
out
a little-
as
that was
"Who the
amusing.
fuck are you?" is probably my favorite line in that movie, because
Yeah.
that's what. But another thing though is when they're showing all of the alternate universes, they show the movie that was never made. Did you guys catch that one?
the Nicolas Cage
The
Superman
Nicolas
movie.
Cage
Yeah.
Superman. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that was never made, but
You say that, but it's hard to tell how that would be. I mean,
I like Nicolas Cage.
he's super cheesy. That's the best way to say it.
Yeah, and like Henry Cavill was a really good Superman, and I'm a little pissed about them taking him out after like bringing him back. Like they put him in
Yeah.
Black Adam, and everybody was like, "Yeah," and then they were like, "Now we're gonna go a new direction," and apparently that new direction is everything we like they're gonna get rid of, and everything we hate they're gonna keep.
There's parts of it I see. There's parts of it that still upset me. Like I would love to see something where you have like an actual send off of Ben Affleck's Batman, or at least have an explanation from it. Even though in reality, the best explanation that you can give in something like that is like, oh, well, Flash fucked everything up, so he messed up the timeline,
Yeah.
so now everybody's different. So
Yeah, and we're back to George Clooney. We're not gonna have. The reason I liked Ben Affleck obviously is because he was more like the old man Batman that you mentioned from The Dark Knight Returns,
yes.
which is the greatest comic. That was Frank Miller that wrote that, where he just killed people. Like he was just done with it. Like he was
didn't
just
give a
done.
shit.
Yeah, and like that's that. I'll kill her, I promise. And he just goes, I believe you. And then he takes that dude out. He murks that dude because like, yeah, I know you're a killer, and that's why I'm going to take you down. I did like Christian Bale's Batman specifically, and everybody made fun of his voice, but that's because he did something no other Batman had done. He wasn't just Bruce Wayne in a mask. That's actually what, controversial opinion, Michael Keaton's the worst Batman, because
Like he did actually have a little bit of a transition, because when you listen to him as Bruce Wayne, he gets a little bit more higher pitched, like has more range with his voice. But when he's Batman, he has a lot more lower tone to his voice.
I don't think he did
Trust
quite what Christian Bale did. But
Because
also,
I don't think anybody understood that concept of it too.
no, which is fair. But also, Michael Keaton showed his identity to everybody in both movies.
Yeah.
Which Batman would die before letting people see him without his cowl, right? So that's kind of why I did like the Christian, even though he had that stupid "where the drugs are." But it's like at least he tried to hide his voice, right?
Well, absolutely. When you get, like, I've read a couple things where you talk about like the different stages of it, because like if you listen to him in Batman Begins compared to The Dark Knight, it's two drastically different voices of it.
Yeah.
I've read some things about it. I don't know what to believe of it, but I mean, I know it's a blunt of a bunch of jokes, but I mean, realistically, you can't do anything without something becoming the blunt of a joke.
Yeah, I always tell people, remember that when they said Heath Ledger was going to be the Joker, you all whined.
Everybody cried about that. It's like,
Yeah.
there's no way he could. Look how that turned out.
Yeah, everyone needs to shut up about upcoming movies.
Yeah.
All
Well, a
right.
lot of like if you guys don't remember, like when Michael Keaton was cast as Batman, same thing happened.
Yeah.
Everybody cried about it. It's like there's no way he could be Batman, and he put on the best portrayal of Batman at that time.
Yeah. The comedian, Michael Keaton, 5 foot. Really? He turned out to be pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, no joke.
I think we're boring, Keith. We should probably.
No, I'm good. I enjoy Batman. I was just
We could
waiting for a
glaze
sec.
search it and see how
No,
how he does.
I enjoy a lot of the Batman stuff. What is your favorite DC non-Batman or non-Batman adjacent movie or series?
That's a good question. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if I can name one. I don't even know what this would count because it has Batman in it. My favorite DC animated movie is the Flashpoint Paradox. It focuses more so on the Flash, and there's a bunch of stuff they tried to touch up on it, but I've read a handful of the comics from it, and then I've like obviously the movie is out as well, and the movie is absolutely phenomenal. Just people dying left and right, and like in a sense, you could say it's not the real Batman because it's Thomas Wayne as Batman, not Bruce Wayne as Batman, because the whole timeline got changed. But that entire movie, like the concept is great because it's kind of like the butterfly effect, but on a much grander scale to the point where the world's about to end, all that fun stuff. But so if you haven't seen that movie, I would recommend going to see it. It's on Max right now.
Nice. Do you consume all the CW DC stuff?
I used to. I don't as much anymore.
There's a lot of it.
It's hard to keep up with.
I've watched all of Arrow. I haven't seen that one.
Good. It's that one's super weird.
Yeah, because it's like it has them, but it doesn't have them. It's like I watched it a bunch when Arrow was a big show, and then the Flash had started. I watched the first couple seasons of Legends of Tomorrow, and then after when there was just so many shows that were out, it's like fuck, I can't keep up with all these.
Yeah, I just finished.
My roommate was obsessed with Smallville. Obsessed. So I've actually seen
I never watched
much
that.
Smallville.
Really?
I've seen it.
Smallville was like the best. Like literally like the best superhero show of our childhood. It was like the only one that I really remember.
And then Titans. That's actually filmed in my city. So the police headquarters for them is my city hall.
That's a good
Fair
show.
enough. Titans I did enjoy, especially because I actually love Alan Ritchson, who ironically was in Smallville. He was in Smallville, right? Because he was Aquaman.
Yes. He for like 2 episodes or something, right?
And who is he in? Who is he in this?
Hawk.
Got it.
He's Hawk in Titans.
Oh, okay. He's Reacher.
Yes, he's
Reacher. Yeah, he's Reacher. He was also. Yep. I believe you're going to say what I'm going to say. He was also Thad in Blue Mountain State.
The biggest fucking douchebag in the world. He was literally the biggest douche character. Like he played it so well. So
he did so great at it.
To see him be
what was so hard to watch him. That was so hard to watch him. Watch him in other roles because every time you see him up there, you just see him as Thad.
Yeah, it took a minute. Like I think if I didn't have the show we just talked about where he played Hawk like as like that tweener between that and Reacher. Like if I only knew him as Thad and then Reacher, it wouldn't have worked. But I saw him as Hawk for a few seasons. So
he was great as Hawk because he was a fucking dick the entire time.
Yeah.
But interestingly, in Titans, the Batman, Bruce Wayne is Jormon.
Yeah, Jormon Moore. Yeah.
Why can't I remember his? I actually love him because he actually plays
Khaleesi's fucking buddy.
Yeah, but he plays. I wish I knew. I'm going to Google his real name like right now because he also plays this like Irish detective I fucking love. And for some reason, he's also Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
So he's like Game of Thrones.
He was a killer in that one.
Yeah, he's Game of Thrones, Bruce Wayne.
Ian Glenn is his name.
Ian Glenn. Yes, thank you.
That's him.
Yeah, I love that dude. If you ever get a chance to watch that one show where he's just this drunken Irish PI, and that's the kind of stuff I love, right? Is I don't watch or read a lot of fiction, but that's the kind of stuff where it's just like these weird mystery and whodunit shows. I love that shit.
I'm glad he survived his grayscale. So Lou,
nice.
to harken back to the turn signal issues, were turn signals involved in any of the 5 vehicles that you've been involved in wrecking over the course of your driving history?
None of those were involved with turning. So, Yeah, none of those were involved in turning.
Any funny stories or anything you want to share about that? Is like, I mean, it was a random, verbatim random fact. He's wrecked like 5 cars, 1 truck twice, and that was your.
Yeah, that was my brother.
Yeah.
So the truck was not, or the truck the first time I did was when I was a sophomore in high school, and it was just a dumb thing. I grew up in a small town outside of Omaha, so a lot of gravel roads, and it was just one of those nice miscalculation there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Grand Am that Jake was with me that I wrecked, we were coming home from Council Bluffs, and we were literally 3 miles away from home, and it was one of those where the weather wasn't the greatest. We hit a patch of slush coming down and just ended up sliding out of control, going into a bridge. And then one of them was Jake's really bitter about this one, but so I have an uncle when he was still alive worked for Right Tree Service, was pretty high up in Right Tree Service. So all their runner vehicles that they had, when they got to a certain mileage, they would go off and like auction them and sell them. One of those vehicles, or a handful of those vehicles they had, were lovely little Isuzu Hombres, which are essentially Chevy S10s.
Mm-hmm.
Just the most base model you could think of, like air conditioning that barely works. Nothing's electronic, like nothing of the parts electronic on the door. So manual windows, manual locks, all that fun stuff. So my mom had wrecked that truck before, and then I was driving it, come up over top of a hill, and then as I come up over the top of the hill, I realize everybody stopped. I try to slam on the brakes. Brakes are faulty from previous incidences, so I swerve over and end up wrecking that. But yeah, none of them were involved in actually turning. So that's turn signals were not involved in that.
None of those are funny stories. So
none of them are really funny, and they may be funny to him because he wasn't the one that wrecked vehicles. So yeah,
well, we're glad you walked away from all of them and that you're still safe. So that's good.
Same. It wouldn't be the wonderful Lou Nutter I am today without it.
Sure.
Or if I wouldn't have survived.
Okay. All right. There's one in here that I want to go at because I do love, I think me and Lou, me and Bryce, like a lot of us are just these kindred spirits from all across North America. So
I know where you're going.
Years ago, I'm talking, God, I must have been 22, 23. I couldn't find a Halloween costume because I waited too long. So I bought a children's large Flash costume and wore that to an adults only party. And you can imagine how that shit looked. I heard you did the same thing, but with a different costume.
I'm trying to remember now.
Oh, it was what did I say specifically? You wore like an extra small spandex one, or like I'm assuming like booty shorts, but people in a onesie. It wasn't really...
was this recently?
No, it's just in the notes here.
There's no timestamp on it. We don't do
There's no timestamp.
Was it supposed to be a reindeer?
You want to wear a pair of my size small spandex for Halloween costume.
So we had one of the gyms here was having like a Halloween themed deadlift party, and we got this bright idea to go as like a hunter and a deer, except we decided it'd be a good idea to reverse the role. So where she would be the hunter and I would be the cute, sexy deer in quotations. So she had a pair of brown, like I was trying to find like some onesies where like they wouldn't be, super tight, super revealing, even though still probably going to be pretty tight and pretty revealing. But everything we found by the time we thought of it would have taken way too long to get delivered. We couldn't find anything in store, anything like that. And she just randomly goes, just like, well, I got a pair of brown spandex. I'm like, let me see them. She pulls them out. I'm like, oh, those would be perfect. So then we went to Walmart and bought a brown tank top that matched the color pretty well. Bought a cheap pair of like light up antlers or whatever and put those on. She put a little bit of makeup on the end of my nose to make it look like a reindeer. And yeah, I think everybody saw a little bit more of me than they anticipated seeing or did they want to see. So
yeah, with that Flash costume, there was they could see the veins. They said.
That's a good way to put it.
Actually, my one friend said I can see your religions, but I figured that was too controversial for the podcast. No poop jokes this week. No poop stories this week.
Yeah, that's sad. No one. The last like six out of the last 10 episodes, like under embarrassing stories from our research, like there was a shit story, and like having someone have to reiterate their funny poop story. It's been kind of a running bit. I think I've enjoyed. Maybe that's some people haven't, but I sure as hell have.
I mean, I do have one. That's not. I don't know how funny it is, but I mean, it was pretty. It was.
It's got to be funnier than
It was very last second situation.
Paul Floss.
Well, I mean, I lost a good T-shirt. So,
all right, go. You got to go now.
This is my freshman year of high school, so we're doing conditioning for football. So this is a long time ago. So we're doing conditioning. So our practice field, we didn't practice on our game fields. So like, you know how most high schools, like their game field is where they practice as well, and it's always attached right to the school. Mm-hmm. Well, our game field is about a half mile away on the other side of town, and our practice field was about 2 blocks away from the school. And it's kind of down like by the creek, so it's in a floodplain. So you can't play there. So we had a track field there, we had a football field there. So that's where we always had track practice and football practice. So we're down there for morning conditioning, and I don't know what happened, but long story short, I had the BGs, and when it made its presence known, it was time. Like, it was time. There was no sitting and waiting for that. So immediately I told the guy, like, brother, I got a shit bad. So I run down off the field, and I had to climb down a hill to climb down this little hill to go to the creek. And yeah, and I won't get into detail or anything like that, but it wasn't pretty. No, pretty goddamn close. That creek is pure fish shit anyway, so I'm not worried about them. Yeah, so I didn't have anything, to properly cleanse with. So, and I was not about to use any of the vegetation there because I have a cousin that wiped his ass with poison sumac once, and that turned out really bad for him. So I did not want to risk that opportunity. So, so I think I was wearing a t-shirt, or I was wearing a cutoff and undershirt at the same time, which was a terrible idea, but it ended up working out because I just used my undershirt for it. And at least cleaned up what I could. And then the compression shorts I had along with that, those got thrown away that day. Those didn't make it.
Little skid marky.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good.
Well, I'm surprised
it was not a fun time.
You weren't. So was that when you were so embarrassed, that you had to just get away from the football team for a little bit and you got into drumming?
Oh, no. It takes a lot for me to get embarrassed. I grew up with 3 brothers. I've been embarrassed by a handful of things. I've been made fun of my entire life. So at this point, if I'm not getting made fun of about something, I don't think anybody loves me.
Yeah. But I did, like, in the research, drumming did come up. Were you actually in the school band, or was it just like, were you like in like a did you drum for a hobby, or what?
I did percussion and band in junior high and high school. I think I got my drum set when it was Christmas my freshman year of high school. So that's when I got my drum set. The drum set itself is still the original one, but a bunch of the hardware has been replaced, cymbals updated, all that fun stuff, because apparently I'm a muscle dummy and I hit things really hard. So I've done that kind of just as a hobby, just kind of offhand, just whenever, because my drum set's been at my parents' house because I've never had a place to put it. So I've lived in an apartment for so long. So then I moved in with Alex back in November. So then finally, right around Christmas, I'm like, shit, I'm just gonna bring them up here. Like, we can put them in this room over here.
Nice.
So they're here now. So that's nice. So I still haven't played them a bunch, but it's something I do want to try and practice more. Get a little bit better at. But I've never been in a band or anything like that. It was aside from high school band and all that fun stuff, but it'd be something I wouldn't mind doing. But I think that's on the back burner to being a pro wrestler at the time.
Well, it sounds like you at least get enough out of it, like, mentally, to still have held onto them for 20 years or 18 years, and then to actually bring them into your new place. So,
absolutely,
definitely worth keeping, it sounds like. So it's good to have a fallback hobby when when chiropractic doesn't work out. You can always figure out how to make money off percussion, right?
Yeah, no shit. And that, and other times, one of the same reasons that we go to, or that a handful of us go to the gym a lot of the time too, is be able to vent out frustration, whether we're actually training for something or not. It's a great way to vent out frustration, be able to get a lot of activity. Like when we had a snow day here a couple weeks ago, we all got snowed in. So it was one of those that, took a handful of time, went down there, jammed out a little bit, and then came back up and started drinking some more beers, because that's the only thing you could do during a snow day in the Midwest.
Love it.
So I need a video clip of you doing the intro to Rollin'. Just screaming, John Otto, take him to the Matthews Bridge. Like I want to see that.
That song is actually my generation, and I actually did that on my Instagram. I actually did that on my Instagram story a couple weeks ago too.
Really? Did I miss that? That is so funny.
You might have missed that because, you remember seeing it.
That is my generation. Yeah.
You remember seeing the meme right around Christmas about the little drummer boy? Like somebody goes and tells the little drummer boy, "It's like, oh yeah, I guess some guy named Jesus was just born," and then it pans over to the little drummer boy. Except it's John Otto playing that intro in the music video.
Now, we've talked about it before. We know what the Matthews Bridge is, right?
I know, but it's escaped my head at the moment.
So the Matthews Bridge is from when the Dave Matthews Band dumped their sewage over the side of a bridge onto a boat of tourists.
I've never heard that one before. That's horrible.
So when he says, take him to the Matthews Bridge, he's saying, hey, John Otto, shit on him.
Oh man,
dump some shit on him.
If Dave Matthews did that to me, he'd have to go find a grave digger.
He just paid a lot of people a lot of money.
It was a joke because that was one of his songs when he did his solo stuff.
You know Dave Matthews music?
I've listened to that one specific song a lot back when I was a stoner.
Oh my god, I'm remembering the music video now. What have you done to me?
Great.
Oh my god. You are right.
I haven't heard that song. No, I thought you were going to pick that up, but no, I haven't heard that. I haven't listened to that song in 25 years.
No, you just unlocked a memory I didn't want to unlock.
That's great when that happens. Makes you feel really good. It's almost like when you're laying in bed, it's like, hey, remember that time in third grade you did this embarrassing things? Like, yeah, nope, I didn't want to remember it either.
You wake up at 2 a.m. and you're like, wow, that guy must still hate me from high school. Like, yeah. Let's get into some crew questions.
Yeah.
It has been an hour and a half. We should keep this under 3.
As many as I could.
All right.
If we're getting into crew questions, I may want to get warmed up a little bit. I come prepared.
Yeah. God, I regret everything. I regret scheduling myself to open tomorrow. I regret not having Fireball. That's all right. We'll make up for it in July.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. I think we already covered one of those.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. This is going to be a good one.
Oh, yeah.
FMK. We know what those mean?
Fuck, marry, kill.
Hybrid, Huck Finn, or Massonomics?
You're killing me on this one.
Yeah, I knew that one would be hard.
I gotta think about this one.
You have your druthers.
Do I have my druthers on this one?
Well, I mean, you do have to make a decision. You can't ride the line.
Yeah, this is true. It's so hard because those 3 companies are very, very, very pivotal to my, I don't want to say my career, but my current powerlifting stint that's been lasting 6 years now. 6-7 years.
So I'm assuming you have one of your coach works for Hybrid then, I'm guessing, or okay.
He did.
That was one I didn't see the connection to, so.
Yeah, he did, and I'm actually still a moderator for Hybrids programming.
Okay.
So I started doing that back in 2018, 2019. I think it was somewhere around that time. Just helping out as a moderator for some of the programming. So because they have a bunch of different moderators that help out with that. So I've been doing that for a handful of time. That, and I still use Hybrids nutrition coaching too. Andy has been an absolute saint for dealing with my drunk ass. So that's always nice. God, fuck, this one's hard.
Sounds like
this is hard.
You might have to kill Massonomics. I don't know. That's.
But the problem is, if I kill Massonomics, then I don't get any. Then I lose half of my shirts.
This was a good one. Yeah.
That was from.
I'm not sure. There's when I copy and pasted everything, because it's so I like did I would screenshot it and then try to copy and paste like everyone's
It
at the same
looks like it
time.
might be from Jen.
Sometimes I put the user above it. Sometimes I put the user below it. So it's
Yeah,
like, oh,
but the
fucking, I don't know.
previous three are Jen, so I'm gonna say this one
It's
might be Jen.
Of course you would. When it comes to marrying a
You marry Karen, don't you?
lady, she's done a lot of good things for me. Yeah, she handed me Fireball the moment I walked into the moment I walked into the Arnold. That was the first time I'd actually met her in person too.
You know what? I was there and she was great to me. Like that was really fun.
Oh yeah,
Never met me in my life, and I think her and Huck were. I was keeping some of my beer in their cooler at some point. Like,
yeah.
Because
you knew they were packing. They had a bunch of mine in there.
Yeah,
I'm sure some of mine got divvied out, but it is what it is. That happens.
To the point that at the Live Hard Live Easy, I had to bring a case to Jonathan. And I was like, because I'd never been to the Arnold, I didn't know I could just bring beer. And I was like, dude, I drank so much of your beer. Here's a case of 24 fucking Millers. Because like I drank all of your beer.
Yeah, it was because I know Tom and John and those guys, they were drinking a bunch of Miller. I was drinking a bunch of Busch, and I think it was just everybody kind of divvying in whatever they could. We bought so much fucking Fireball that weekend too, and all of it was gone. I have a bad habit. Like if I buy a bucket of Fireball, I'll divvy a bunch of them out. So like I'll buy a bucket on a Friday, and by Sunday it's gone. I'm like, fuck, what happened to it? But then I start remembering like a handful of times, like I'll divvy one. Like if I buy a bucket, like I'll have like, whenever I have one, like I'll have one. Alex has one. There may be one or two, maybe three other people that will divvy them out too. So when you start divvying those out, those go away pretty quickly.
Like 20 in a bucket. But we're on this FMK. Yeah. No ride the line.
I'm trying to divert it here. God, if I'm gonna have to do it as it stands right now, it's gonna be. I hate to say it too. I hate to say it. It's probably going to be Mary Massonomics because they really are the ones that seem to be the partiers, but more settled down. Fuck, it's probably going to have to be HFB. Kill is probably going to have to be hybrid.
I'm sorry we had to do that to you, bud.
You put me in a blunder there.
No, fucking potentially Jen and or
look
at that. It wasn't us.
Yeah, look at my hair right now. It wasn't me.
Speaking of hair, we had at least 3 or 4 different people in one variation or another ask about your hair routine or when you decided to grow out your hair. Do you want to do like a couple minutes about your hair in general? I guess because it is such a prominent feature of you.
Yeah, apparently now it is, dude. Little side story until I go to answer that. So my sister-in-law, she posted a picture on Facebook a week or so ago, and it was from their wedding. And look, it's my sister-in-law. She married my brother, so I'm in the wedding. Like I'm in the pictures there. And she looks over and like she comments on it, and she's like, "Who's the guy who's the guy to the left of Joe? Joe being my dad." And like I commented back on him, like, Teeny, I know it's been a while since I've had short hair, but god damn it, you should remember me still. You've known me since I was an infant. So apparently she didn't recognize me. So the hair, so over the course of years in high school, I've had longer hair a couple times, and it was back in 2019, early 2020. I was growing it out a little bit. I grew it out longer on the top, but not on the sides. I got tired of it. It was starting to get annoying. I cut it. And as soon as I cut it, I immediately regretted it. And from that point, I said, fuck this. I'm growing all of it out. I'm going to grow it out as long as I can and just go from there. Like I'm not like, I don't have any big bald spots. I'm not receding super bad, anything like that. And so I'm just going to take advantage of this as much as I can for as long as I can. So it's just been growing out from there and just talking about my hair care routine. I wash my hair twice a week. I try and at least use some good brand name products and not just Pantene or anything like that. I get it trimmed up about every 4 to 6 weeks, whether it's actually getting trimmed or just shaping up, the sides and back and whatnot. But yeah, otherwise, try and keep it low maintenance. I don't put a bunch of stuff in it. At this point, if I go gray, I feel like if I go gray, I feel like I have, enough of, natural highlights that if I go gray, I can't dye it because I'll just take away the rest of those natural highlights. I'll just have to be, highlighted with a little bit of wisdom, as some people say. So I try to keep it simple, keep it brushed every now and then. I've got a couple of nice little hair cap things, the silk caps to wear to bed, mostly because she has a blue healer and her hair is everywhere. And if I don't wear something over my head at night, I'll brush my hair in the morning and I'll brush out a bunch of short white dog hairs. So it's really a fun time.
Actually, I went and got a beard trim today after last week's episode of Is This Can Bigger Than Joey's Beard?
I remember that was amusing.
But yeah, God, I'm getting so many white hairs. The Santa Claus in there.
Yeah. Let's say, do you ever brush out any dog hairs out of your beard?
No, not on purpose.
The struggle is like you don't realize when you get it, like when you have a bunch of hair, whether it's on your head or on your body, like how much like different hairs can get trapped in there and be stuck in there for like if you're not brushing it regularly, you don't realize it's there. Because like I'll like put a brush in my hair, like even like I'll look in the mirror sometime, like motherfucker, do I got another gray hair? I'll grab it, it doesn't even like pull out. It's just a dog. It's just a white dog hair.
Yeah,
son of a bitch.
That is funny.
No, I brush my beard enough, but and we don't have pets. The worst thing that happens to me is I eat my mustache a fucking lot. And that's why I get Christine to take it off right above the mouth, because I want this part of the mustache. Like I want the curliness to go up to my eyeballs or ears. Like I want that. But this, you can't eat a thing. You go to eat a sandwich, it's all beard, it's all mustache, and it hurts.
Yep.
You go to drink from a can and you hear that and it's just like, oh, that hurts so much. So no, that's what happens, brother. What's that?
It's called a filter.
A beer filter? Oh yeah, I know, the mustache. Yeah. The flavor, the fruit strainer.
My wife Stephanie is constantly telling me I have like shit in my beard, and I'm like, oh, that's just food. And I'm just like, oh, how long has that been there?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Gotta brush that.
I gotta figure out how to.
One of the other random items in my fanny pack that I make sure to keep is I do have a nice little beard brush, beard comb in my fanny pack.
I actually have one at every aspect of my home. I have a wooden comb here. I have one in my fanny pack. I have one at work, and I have two in the bathroom.
Fair enough. I gotta say, I got one in the bathroom and I got one in my fanny pack because my fanny pack comes with me everywhere. Everybody knows that. So,
and then I have
as long as it's there, then I'm good to go.
I have a boar hair brush as well. I have one in the bathroom and one in the car. And the boar hair, it's just really thick. It's really not thick. It's strong, thin hairs. And it just goes through. And that is honestly how you're going to soften, but get rid of everything. Dandruff, garbage, food, gravy. I get a lot of gravy in my beard.
Gravy.
I love gravy.
So Big Kevin, RSG, so Kevin Rahill, wants to know, how did you originally hook up with the Huck Finn and the gang? Like, how did you go from Lou Nutter to strolling through the lamplighter?
So, ironically enough, so back in my earlier lifting career days, I was just a recreational training, like a wannabe bodybuilder, doing my own kind of things, doing kind of my own programming, maybe finding different programs here and there, trying to get bigger, trying to get more lean. And it never worked. I was still just fat, mildly strong, and, not very aesthetic. And then, I saw a video of Tom Finn incline pressing 315 for reps while doing a double beer bong. I saw that and said, I want to do that. I want to be like that. And then, so I looked, I'm like, all right, who the fuck is this asshole? So I started looking at him. He said he was a power lifter. I'm like, what? I'm like, wait a minute. Like, you can be strong, pretty lean, and still be an alcoholic? Like, fuck, sign me up. Like, I want to be like this guy. Like, I'm going to do powerlifting now. And then, that was kind of along the lines when I decided I just wanted to train more. Like, I'd just much rather be strong, but like, regardless if I was, thicker, lean, whichever, I'd much rather be strong than just lean or at 170 pounds or whatever it is. So Tom, I'll credit Tom Finn for essentially getting me into strictly powerlifting. And then, after that, just followed him for a long time. I'd shoot him questions on Instagram about, just random things. And then just over time, when he started selling apparel, like I was fun, like eventually I'd start buying stuff there. And obviously seeing where they've come over the past 5 years, like just still going and supporting them. like it's hard not to support him because, again, like I said, the affinity for the Midwest stuff, and like he's like big family man, like still has his job, still does powerlifting, all that other stuff, especially for him overcoming the injuries that he's had, having to reattach pec tendons. That's not an easy thing to try and get past, let alone have him do it and still benching what he is now. May not be 500 in comp on two reattach pec tendons yet, but Lord be willing, he'll be getting there. But yeah, so I started following him probably back in like 2018 because I was still living in Kansas City at the time, and just, small bits, continuous, messaging on Instagram, whatnot. Met him at the hybrid meet back in 2020. I think it's the first time I met him.
It's the one where I think he was kind of hurt, or he basically just he literally one-handed 135, right, and basically bombed the meet.
Yep, because I think he was doing it just to do bench only, and he did the one-handed 135. And because that was because I was in 2020 because he blew out his second pec shortly after that.
Okay, hurt.
Yeah, he was already hurt, and he was trying to do something toward again. Or well, not toward again, but toward the next one. So that's Then just slowly, meeting him, having beers with him whenever I saw him, all that other fun stuff. And next thing you know, I end up messaged him with followed his podcast for a while. The old Let's Get Stupid podcast.
Oh yeah, big fan.
A lot of reposting, a lot of sharing, all that other fun stuff, buying stuff from him. And then when he made a message about when he put up the post about having the 200th episode of The Lamplighter, I just kept thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, shit, that'd be fucking sweet to go to. And I thought, kept thinking about going. I was like, fuck, I could make the drive out there. Just get a hotel. It's middle of Illinois. You could, it's not in Chicago. It's outside of Chicago. Probably could find a cheap motel there. And then he messaged me and asked me if I was coming. I'm like, fuck, well, now I feel like I really got to.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I was able to take the day off of work because I didn't have much on my schedule anyways. And I had nothing on my schedule that day. So, made the, I think it was a 6-hour drive. Made the 6-hour drive out to Ottawa, IL.
Oh, yeah.
Went and hung out at the Huck Finn Barbell compound. And, went to the Lamplighter and saw all that has to offer.
Yeah, that was such a shit show of a episode, listening to that. And, trying to think if they had it if it was on a YouTube live or not, but I remember watching.
I can't remember if it was on YouTube, but I remember I kept looking.
I remember watching the whole thing. Oh no, I don't think ever. But when I listened to the episode, it was just it was an experience, and you couldn't hear jack shit. You couldn't hear anything or you could hear Tanner talk clear as day, but Tanner couldn't hear them over the background noise. So it was amusing.
There was a lot.
And then I hope you guys had a DD to get back to the fucking to Finn's house, because you ended up crashing on the Karen's couch, didn't you?
Yep. Because Boss Man was sober that whole night. Didn't have a drink that whole night.
Attaboy.
Yeah, so Boss Man's the one that drove us out there and drove us back.
Nice. I remember meeting Boss Man at fucking the Arnold. And then I don't remember if I was there when he was just shitty drunk, just passed out in the chair or not. I can't remember, but I definitely saw pictures of it, and goddamn, that was funny as hell.
He was out.
The one follow up on about the Lamplighter, one of the Davids wanted to know if it was awesome, as Huck Finn called it, awesome 75 times on the podcast.
I mean, I'll put it this way. I mean, it depends on your definition of awesome. Did I have an awesome time? Did I have an awesome experience there? Absolutely. I had an awesome time there. 10 out of 10 would go again as long as I was with the right group of people. Now, you're not going to find me there by myself on a Saturday night by any means, but
just belly up to Perverts Row.
You and Pappy will go there together sometime, huh?
Dude, I thought Pappy about had a goddamn heart attack.
Yeah,
he was up there. I mean, I know you heard on the podcast. I went back and re-listened. I remember watching this, and he was just sitting there, just stiff as a board, as all that was happening. And I went back and listened to the podcast, and as we're all talking about it, I'm sitting there remembering all of it in my head, all of that going on, and I'm just like, God damn! How did he not have a heart attack? Pappy, you may need to replace that flannel now, brother.
That was good. I definitely enjoyed that. Yeah, I think between me and you, I think we're definitely the two most name dropped people on the Let's Get Stupid podcast when they're talking about their fans. I feel like if it's not my name, it's your name at least once a month.
I will like I'll give Tommy credit for this too. You remember the episode after the Arnold where he said I stole his Spit Vipers?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I did not steal them as much as I joke about. I did steal them. I was wearing them for most of the day that Saturday, or no, that Sunday. So the day that everybody left, and I go to give them back to him. And I'm like, hey, Tommy, figured you want these back? He's like, nah, fuck, keep them, brother. He's like, I got 10 more pairs at home. I'm like, all right, put them back on when I'm on my way.
And he's been motherfucking you the whole time on the podcast ever since.
Yeah,
That's so funny. That's a good inside joke. I like that.
The best was when I went out, or when I went out there to go to the lamplighter. I went out to the compound, pulled them out of my fanny pack. It's like, hey Tommy, what do you think about these? He's like, that's my fucking glasses, asshole. I'm like, I know, you gave them to me. But yeah, that started downhill slope because I bought a couple cheap pairs of Pit Vipers before, like from Amazon, like the $20-$30 ones. They were shit. They broke after like 2 weeks, or either that or Bruce chewed them up. So then it was literally the week after the Arnold. I bought 2 pairs of Pit Vipers after that because when I had his on, I'm like, these are fucking great. Like these fit awesome. Like they're great. Like the clarity is, aside from the scuffs on the lenses, which those don't come factory. Those are earned there. Like I bought them and I put them on. I'm like, holy shit! I can feel my Macho Man persona coming out as we speak because I'm wearing these. And now I have 9 pairs of Pit Vipers, and
Jesus.
Yeah, I actually hate sunglasses. So that's the thing about me is I never wear them. I never liked them because I'm either going to break them or lose them. So for Christmas, I think either last year or the year before, Morgan bought me actual Pit Vipers, and she got me a Pit Viper flag as well. So I just haven't hung it up yet because I don't have the room, right? And I tell you, they're still here. They're still kicking. No scratches, no nothing. I have babied these fucking things because I was like, these are comfortable. They work. They're adjustable. I like the little adjustable things. So yeah, actually, shout out to Pit Viper. And I'm sure they were all $69 because their entire website listed $69. Which is
if they're having a
hilarious.
sale.
Yeah.
I have to be picky. I have to have polarized sunglasses. I'm very picky in that aspect. Especially with as much driving as I was used to. So I just gotten accustomed to buying polarized sunglasses all the time. I always have to buy the double wides of everything because I have a fat head. So I have to buy the double wides. These were actually a gift to these. No, these ones were actually my birthday present. So Alex got these ones for me for my birthday. She found a cheap pair of them when she was at Lake of the Ozarks. Anybody from the Midwest that is familiar with Missouri knows that Lake of the Ozarks is a really big party spot, especially in the summer. She was down there this summer for a weekend, and she bought a pair of cheap ones. And I've always loved this design. These are the Miami Nights. If anybody's wanting to buy these ones, I'm sure everybody's going to be able to see them. So yeah, she bought the cheap pair of them, and then I kind of told her a couple times that it's like, oh yeah, I would love to have those. Like I think those are next on my list. Those are next ones on my list. So she ended up getting them for my birthday. She actually got them at a really cheap price. I think they were like a buy one get one or something like that. And that's how she got both of them. The funniest part about that is that she bought them for me like a month early, and she decided it would be a good idea when she was drunk to tell me what she got me.
Hell yeah!
Spoiler.
I'm just so excited about it, but I want to tell you. No. I know I shouldn't, but I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
And then she told me, and she showed the picture to me, and then an hour later, she's like, "I just feel so bad that I told you." I'm like, "Babe, I forgot the moment you told me, and I remember because you told me again." And then we wake up the next morning. I had completely forgotten again. Wouldn't have remembered one bit. And then as soon as she mentioned something again, she's like, I just feel really bad that I told you what I got you for Christmas, like for Christmas and your birthday. I'm like, babe, shut up. Like I would have forgotten about this by then.
So that's a thing. That's a thing. I'm with Alex on this one. So when I actually can't buy something for somebody too early because I am such a good gift giver that I get so excited to see their reaction to this thing I know they're going to fucking love that I always always have to struggle not to give it to them early or tell them early. So I kind of get that. Like, you're gonna love this so much. I just want to like hint at it. I just want to like give you like a little bit of a hint, and because like I'm so proud of myself for buying you this amazing gift. So I get that. I might have done that too.
Well, it's like, yeah, I understood it, but it was just like you had 3 opportunities to let me forget, and you messed up every single one of them. It's like I had completely forgotten about it twice, and then you reminded me just when I was about to forget it again. But no, I love the shit out of them, and I ended up buying another 2 pairs after, like back or earlier in January. So yeah, now I'm pretty close to completing the collection of the original double wides.
I'm sure I have more in my future. Which one do you want to do there, Keith?
I'm gonna backtrack. I'm good with the crew questions. I had one. Someone. I don't know if it's. I have a hard time believing this is accurate, but if it is, that's pretty funny. Okay, you were so obsessed with wrestling growing up that your first words were Hulk Hogan. Like, is that whether your literal first words Hulk Hogan, or is that just like blowing smoke up my ass?
That is the rumor to this day. My mom
Nice.
swears by it. So when I was born, apparently my parents were really big into the pay-per-views, would have people come over, all that other fun stuff. Like back in the old days of pay-per-views, like where you had to buy them, like you couldn't just get them on Peacock. And apparently they swear by it. Like it's like I'll put it this way: there's a reason I'm full of shit sometimes, because I come by that very naturally. My parents are very good at being. My parents are very good at being very full of shit. And but like at the same time, you kind of notice when you see people that are full of shit when they share the same stories, but different details change.
Yeah.
Like this is one of those, the details never changed. It's just every time they describe the story, it was always the same. Like they said that when I was a little kid, when the pay-per-views are going on, when Hulk Hogan would come up, I'd go up in front of the TV and just start pulling poses in front of everybody. All of Hulk Hogan's poses, just yep, every single one of them.
Yeah.
Nice.
And like I even remember from my childhood, it was WrestleMania 6 when Ultimate Warrior beat Hulk Hogan for the WWF Championship, and I remember all the fireworks and the confetti going off and everything. Like I remember being terrified because it was like to me it was scary at the time. Like seeing this, like I didn't realize it then, but this is massive roided out dude with tassels and face paint and long hair and all that other stuff just go up there just shaking the ropes in the ring, doing all of that because he had just won, and I'm just sitting there. I remember vaguely just being terrified about it. And they recorded a bunch of stuff on VHS. It's like we always I would always go sit and watch the playbacks and whatnot, like go back through and watch it and whatnot, like watch the entire pay-per-view. So yeah, the rumor to this day is that my first words were Hulk Hogan. So
well, that leads me to my question.
Yeah.
So my crew question. So you're gonna hear on the main podcast, because this is really funny, you've been out of it for a bit. They've started asking people their Mount Rushmores. And that actually comes from our podcast when Andrew Garrison brought it up on our podcast. And then, they borrowed it. So this one, I've got some finesse to it because, of course, me and you are both wrestling fans. I don't know if you've seen my tattoos yet. I have Bray Wyatt tattoos on my hands now. Your Mount Rushmore of wrestling entrances.
Ooh,
so you could do theme, you could do a one-off, right? Like was Stone Cold. Oh, I fucking hate balloons. So how did that happen? Like how did I was it like a party thing?
I don't,
because I know you can do the heart. I don't know if you guys have seen the heart yet.
Yeah, that was
and the thumbs up. All right, so like if you want to do like Stone Cold's entrance isn't the best ever, but that one at WrestleMania with the shattering glass. So whatever, I just want to say the 4 that you would put up on a mountain of the best entrances from wrestling.
Yeah, I'm having to go back and remember. I'm having to dig back in right now because it's hard to remember some of those specific entrances because like some of the
glasses came off to our listeners. The glasses came off because we're serious now.
So I'm trying to just sit back and think, just like, so there was a handful of period of time where I was completely out of pro wrestling, like just didn't watch it at all. I think it was probably about like 2002 to 2012, I think. Just that 10-year span.
Actually, yeah,
So
me
like the
too.
John Cena, yeah. So the entire, like the majority of the John Cena era, like when Randy Orton became big, Batista became big, all that, like all those guys became big. I was completely out of it for that. If we're gonna go, like I'll go with one more recent one. Um, I feel like Cody Rhodes' entrance when he first came back to WWE recently, I feel like that had a very, very, very big pop. Like it was speculated, but it was hard to say if it was. But then as soon as like the music hit, and then as soon as like you saw him come up onto the stage, I felt like just the reaction of that was just like, holy shit, this is sweet. I feel, I honestly feel like almost every Hulk Hogan entrance in the late 80s, early 90s was always really popular, just because the soon, like especially like if he had like a feud with the Iron Sheik, just because it was just everything that was anti-American at the time, and then everything American at the time, being Hulk Hogan. As soon as he come in, just like his gestures going to the ring, just sitting there, just pointing at everybody, just as he's going through, like that always just had a great reaction to it. Stone Cold, it's hard to rate his because I feel like he always just had some of the best entrances. Like whether it was like he was coming in for a match or they're like the WCW WWE, like the WCW WWE brawl, like when it was like them versus each other. Um, and then like everybody's battling in the ring, and he finally comes in after you see him backstage whooping asses and open up cans of whoop ass for the past 10 minutes back there. And when he finally came out to the ring, just a pop that everybody heard from that. And God, I don't know. There's a handful. Like if you're talking about just entrances in general and combining that with like single entrances, well, that's a hard one.
It's up to you. That's the druthers.
I know.
Like, so does Edge have the greatest entrance ever? No. Edge
I
returning
don't
at the
think
Royal
so.
Rumble when nobody saw him coming back and he cried
That was a good one.
and
Oh
the
nope, I
crowd
got number one. I got number
blew
one.
up. All right.
Hardy Boys
Yep.
returning for that
Yep.
tag team match in WrestleMania.
I was there. I wasn't
Yeah.
there. I was watching it. And my wife likes to joke that like every time we watch a Royal Rumble, she's got her little bingo card. He's going to yell, no way. He's going to stand up and scream at the. And that was one of the ones where I stood up
That's
and
funny.
yelled, no way. No way.
Because it was so funny because they like credit to New Day, they fucking sold that so hard because like
Mhm.
this is like, oh, but who could the next tag team be? And they all start walking up, and it's like as if it's gonna be them, and everybody like you could just tell everybody's just like, no, are you fucking serious? They're inserting themselves into it, and then you hear that music pop off, and it's just like,
Yep.
oh, like
Yep.
everybody's childhood just being relived right there.
Yep. Yeah, similar story. About God, I can't remember the time I stopped watching. I can't remember the time I stopped watching. And then I didn't start again until the Bray Wyatt and John Cena feud. Because
That was a good fucking feud.
I had kept hearing, dude, you should start watching again. You would like Bray Wyatt. And I was like, no, man, I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. I don't care. And then I joined in right about their cage match where the kids came out and saying he's got the whole world in his hands and scared John Cena. And then I was like, I'm fucking in. Who is this guy? And Bray Wyatt brought me back. And I mentioned it last week when we talked about my tattoos that like I watched wrestling religiously every week for Bray Wyatt. I went to live shows, went to SmackDowns, went to everything for him because I wanted to see what was next.
Yeah.
Then they fired him, and I didn't watch a single episode until, and there was nothing that told me, like my spidey sense was like, Vince is gone, Triple H is in charge, he's hiring new people. I'm gonna start watching again, and they started doing.
Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, they started doing the White Rabbit, right? We're at live events, not even at televised events, and at televised events only during commercial breaks. White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane would keep playing, and then it would just say "Follow the Rabbit" on the screen, and I was like, "That's him. He's coming back for sure." And then he died, and I haven't watched a single episode since.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, when I saw that, because like shit, Bray Wyatt's like he's not even a year older than me, I think, and having that happen, especially the history that he had going
30,
on.
36 or 37. He died.
Yeah. No, I think it was 36, but yeah, that was. I felt it that day. I felt it that day. I felt it when the Ultimate Warrior died, even knowing his history. But like it's one of those, like, whether you're talking about Hulk Hogan, whether you're talking about Ultimate Warrior, whether you're talking about other wrestlers that have had, like very popular wrestlers that have had significant health issues, drug related issues, anything like that. Like, even like it almost doesn't matter at that time, because I know a lot of people have said Hulk Hogan had this thing that happened with him, but when it comes down to it, there is no denying the fact that there is no denying the effect that he had on professional wrestling for the time that he was popular, because he's one of those names that put them above where they are. Does that mean he's relevant now? No. But like, there's no, like, when you're talking about the history of professional wrestling, there are names that you cannot deny.
Yeah.
And like, if you're talking about recently in the last 30 years, you can't deny Hulk Hogan, you can't deny Ric Flair, you can't deny Stone Cold Steve Austin, you can't deny The Rock, you can't deny Macho Man, The Undertaker, shit, even Kane. Kane, who was supposed to be a one-off character for one feud, and ended up being a staple character for God, however long.
One of my favorites. Used to have nightmares about the guy because I loved him so much. And
they played like for the time that it was in, they played that off so well, because like, just especially watching him when he comes into Hell in a Cell and just rips that door off the hinges, like, you just get that perfect vision of like, this dude's a fucking monster.
Yeah, and he was a big dude. Actually, one of the entrances I would put on there is Paul Heyman coming run into the ring saying, help me, he's after me. And everybody in the ring is like, dude, what are you talking about? And then the fire hit and Kane came right out, so perfectly timed. I would put that up on my Mount Rushmore. But yeah, Bray Wyatt did not have, we didn't know he had those health things. He left for an undisclosed physical reason, and then they were just like, by the way, he died yesterday.
Yeah.
Right. And that was it's because wrestling is, I read an essay on it. I've read a couple essays on wrestling because I read essays sometimes. There's the one that is about semiotics, and there's another one that was, I think it was titled Why I Cried When the Undertaker Retired. And the Undertaker has been wrestling, the only person wrestling longer than the Undertaker actively is Randy Orton. Okay. But the Undertaker was there when I was born.
Yeah.
Like, his debut.
It's crazy that Randy Orton's the second longest one, and I never watched Randy Orton, and he's already
so Randy Orton has actually been wrestling, I think, for 35 years. He started when he was 19. He's now some 44 or something like that. He's been actively wrestling for 44 years, or for 35 years. The Undertaker was not that long, but the Undertaker was with us. Like, there's no sport, there's no television show, there's no movie that you every week tuned in and watched a person grow, evolve, have storylines, and retire, except wrestling. So, if people want to ask, why do I have a Bray Wyatt tattoo? That right there, man. That right there. That dude brought me back to the sport I love, kept me there, right? And then just died suddenly.
Yeah.
That means something to people like us.
Well, I was watching, I remember watching the pay-per-view when Owen Hart died too.
Mm-hmm. I came home from the movies. I came home from the movies and tuned into that one.
Yeah, we were watching that pay-per-view. We used to go to one of my brother's buddies' places, or one of my oldest brother's buddies' places, and watch that. And we remember, we were watching the pay-per-view, and all of a sudden, we're watching the pay-per-view, and that's a lot. Like that, I think that's the thing that a lot of people don't appreciate about wrestling nowadays, is that the majority of those, your big name shows, those are live. Those are happening right now. So it's not like you have an opportunity to be like, cut, no, we got to redo that. No, those are happening as it is. It's just it's just like any other sporting event. That's live happening right now. And then when you see the camera that's just panning off into the crowd, and you can just hear the somber voices of the announcers as they're just trying to do everything to distract everybody, including themselves, is just, one of those one of those kind of sombering moments there, and we're gonna have to change the subject, otherwise, these are gonna turn into sad beers here real quick.
No. You know what? Like I said, you haven't listened to a lot of these. I do this to you to this podcast every once in a while. I bring in these like heavy thoughts that fucking people call me out for. Um, all right, yeah. So we got the wrestling stuff out of the way, and I feel like we could go on a lot more, a lot more.
There ain't enough time in the day to be able to do that.
Yeah. And honestly, that's what Discord has been waiting for, is to hear us go off about wrestling. People are like, fuck, he's gonna be so mad and annoyed right now that he's not
good. I'm chilling. We're gonna, as long as I'm in bed by midnight, I'm happy.
Oh, I'm fucking exhausted already.
But I think if wrestling's good, I'm trying to skip anything I mean, there's some other stuff in there, but I think we're good to move into unpaid and underrated, unless there's anything else you really wanted to hit on. Anything jumping out at you that was going to be a quick hitter? I think anything else is going to be, it's either going to be a long answer or like.
No, I have more wrestling questions and more drumming questions.
So big Lou, we have this game. You might not be familiar with it. We created it, an original game all to ourselves. No one else has ever done anything similar to this. It is called Unpaid or Underrated. So you have your druthers. We're gonna mention some Lou specific topics, and you go ahead and give us your unpaid or underrated. Just for clarity, unpaid is equivalent to a poor man's overrated. So. Underrated is good, unpaid is bad. So I'm gonna go with number one here for you, Big Lou, the movie Drumline.
If you said unpaid is a good thing, is the same thing as overrated, I'm gonna go with overrated. I will say though that I have had fun reciting certain things from that. My brother, my little brother Jake, I'm not sure which one of you ended up messaging him. Yeah, we go back and forth, like we'll be talking about something like just one of us like doing something that we normally do. One of the quotes that we always recite from it is like, "I'm here to do me, Dr. Lee." Yeah. It's a terrible movie. It's a terrible movie. I appreciate Nick Cannon and everything he does and all of his 27 or 17 children, however many he has, but that movie was not a good one. That movie was not a good one.
It was so popular too, though. At least I don't know.
I have no idea why.
It came out when I was like a junior in high school, maybe something like that. So like it was, but I don't know, like all my I don't know. It was a very popular movie. I didn't get it. I thought it was very unpaid personally as well. All right.
Very much.
All right. So number 2 here, I'm going to hit you with. Let's go with pickles.
Pickles. Unpaid, definitely. I am not a fan of pickles.
Unless they're deep fried.
I was getting there. However.
Sorry, I jumped the gun. There I am, putting my foot in mouth.
So we're talking about pickles themselves, by themselves. I will not put them on my sandwiches. I will not put them on burgers, anything. I despise pickles by themselves. You deep fry a pickle, I will eat the shit out of that thing. And anything dill pickle flavor. I love the flavor. I love the dill flavor. I love dill pickle flavored things. Pickles by themselves, it's a very big texture issue. Not my thing.
Mouth is that similar to Mouthfeel?
It is Mouthfeels. Yep.
It was a joke. We have a. Did you coin that? I think, or is that? I can't remember the word mouth. Sorry.
Oh, I brought it up in one of the earlier podcasts.
Yeah,
and I just hated the word
mouthfeel.
Yeah, somebody said the word to me once, and I was just like, I fucking hate that. And then it turns out, as you read like food blogs and stuff like that, that's a real thing.
Oh, people do use
what texture?
Mouthfeel. Yeah, mouthfeel.
It sounds.
It's an awful word.
Dare I say primitive?
Perverse.
Yeah, mouthfeel. I don't feel is very descriptive enough. I feel like that's a very, very blunt term. I feel like it's a very lazy term.
Yeah. I know I didn't like it. It just sounded ugh. I think I look at that
thank you.
The same way people like when they hear moist and they get weirded out. I think mouthfeel is my version of moist.
I don't get weirded out about moist. I just like the only thing that bothers me about the word moist is the way people say it sometimes, and that's typically only when they're intentionally trying to say it in a very weird way.
Yeah,
weird. That feels very moist.
Yeah, does it bug you? Does it bug you when I do this? Yeah,
Is
you
it buggy
nerd.
when I say moist?
Fuck off,
Does it
nerd.
bug me the way you say it? Yo.
Yeah, the way you both just said it in the last couple of seconds. Oh my God, they're ruining a perfectly adequate word. Hello, you guys suck. All right, I'm gonna close out my third because I do three, and then Joey will do three. So my last one here, I got this from a little Facebook picture inspiration from you.
Oh, Jesus.
Bleach blonde hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had to go back pretty far, but I saw some
I know
some
you
young
mentioning that.
high school Big Lou because I was gonna go frosted tips, but then I was like, no, the frosted tips is what was left after going completely M&M.
So definitely unpaid. Definitely unpaid. So the reason that I had the pure blonde hair is because my senior year of high school, I buzzed my head. The majority of people on our team buzz their heads for football.
Yep.
Camaraderie and all that fun stuff. And then, so I just kept letting it grow out. And then I made it to state wrestling my senior year again. And everybody that made it to state wrestling dyed their hair blonde. The problem is the majority of people, after they dyed their hair, they all cut it off. My dumbass did not. I kept growing it out. I'm like, no, I'm keeping this forever. It was not a good look. In retrospect, it was not a good look.
Good stuff. I'll be sure to dig some of those up and throw them on Instagram for you just to
Oh, God.
draw out the embarrassment just because it's why not.
All right. I guess
right.
it's my turn.
Yes, sir.
All right. So unpaid or underrated? Taco Bell.
Underrated.
Hell yeah.
It's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those where Taco Bell is one of those beautiful things. Like, you know what you're getting when you go there. When you go there, you're on a mission. You're there to get either your quesadilla, your crunch wrap, your breakfast crunch wrap, anything like that. I will say Taco Bell's breakfast crunch wraps are one of the best breakfast items ever. If you have not gotten a breakfast crunch wrap from Taco Bell, I recommend you do whenever you get your diet break, cheat meal, whatever the kids want to call it these days, or you just don't care what you eat and want to have a nice fast food breakfast on a Sunday. Get the breakfast crunch wrap. I promise you will not be disappointed.
I liked going for the Doritos Tacos Locos. So like if it's like lunchtime and we're out shopping and I need to eat, because usually like the time of day my body will tell me you need to fucking eat right now. I will pull into Taco Bell and I will get those and I will just scarf two of them. Scarf. Do you guys say scarf down?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You guys have said another
but we don't say decal.
You guys have said another thing about what?
What the fuck is decal?
It's decal, but when you like pronounce things properly.
God. No, it's decal.
It is not decal.
We're in America.
It is decal. We are in Canada and the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Take a drink, Lou.
That's great.
No, there was another one you guys used to say. Steve said it when he was on his waffle iron. He said it crush, not crush. There's another word for just eating. Smash. No, you guys had this other word for just eating a ton of stuff, and I'd never heard it in my life. But all right, I guess so. Next one, unpaid or underrated, Netflix.
My tides may be turning on there because originally I was going to say unpaid because all the good shows that I used to watch on Netflix, they all got taken off of Netflix. But now, since Raw decides it wants to go on to Netflix, I may have to change my tide there. I'm gonna, yeah. That's not riding the line. That's just trying to use my druthers there. So, depending on my problem is that not to sound like a super hardcore training bro or anything like that, but Mondays are a squat and bench day. I take forever squatting. Squatting just takes the most energy out of me. It takes me a little bit to recover from. So my Monday nights, you can ask Alex. She loves it when I stay at the gym until 8:30. Yeah. So by the time I get home on Monday nights, most of the time, I'm catching maybe the last 30 minutes of Raw. So we'll see at this point, unless my training schedule changes at some point. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to still be watching reruns. So for this point, we're still going to say unpaid.
So for those of you that don't know, the WWE has signed a contract with Netflix, and they will be airing Raw. And from what I understand, reruns, and possibly pay-per-views that you might be able to stream those as well. Now, I don't know how a live stream from Netflix works. I don't know if they're going to be pre-filming it or not. Yeah, that's brand new.
That's why I was very confused. I was like, I don't understand how that's going to work.
I don't either.
I think are they getting the full back catalog too, or is that still up in the air? Because like WWE,
so before the WWE network, here's a fun little history lesson. Before the WWE network, everything was on Netflix. All of the documentaries, all of the not the old episodes and stuff like that, but like documentaries, movies, everything was on Netflix.
Gotcha.
And then when they opened the network, they withdrew it from all private entities and took it on themselves. So I don't know what they're going to do here, but that's
now everything's on Peacock now, right?
Yeah.
WWE Network is part of Peacock right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because they don't want to do the network themselves. They sourced it out to Peacock. But up here in Canada, we still have the network. We don't have Peacock, so I get everything through there. So that'll be fun to figure out. That's a 2025 issue, I think, for us.
Yeah,
but
that's what I read.
Indeed, it will.
All right. Last but not least, the one for all the marbles. Unpaid or underrated, the Iowa Hawkeyes.
You best spit his
Fuck the Hawkeyes. Fuck the Hawkeyes.
Nice.
So I never originally had a problem with the Iowa Hawkeyes. I will say that because I have a handful of people like you guys remember Big Red?
Yep.
Deadlift out of the strength co booth.
Yep.
So he lives out in Eastern Iowa. He's a big Hawkeyes fan. I've given him shit a handful of times too. Like, granted, they beat us most years, but they also don't have any national championships either. I know the common response is, "Go quit living in the past." Well, at least we have one, so deal with that. I did not hate the Iowa Hawkeyes until my brother and I lived in Council Bluffs for a year and a half. And when you have a fan base that is more focused on hating Nebraska than they do rooting for Iowa, kind of sets a little bit of a bitter taste in my mouth. So when I have fans that are focused more on trying to shit talk me about how bad Nebraska is instead of focusing on your own team, it's like, are you guys really that good then? Because this is more revolving around college football. Other sports I for the most part, could give two shits less. I know they have a really good wrestling, but I'm not as worried about that. But as far as like their football program, like they've had a couple years where they've had decent teams, but they just always seem like that team where they're always going to be decent. They're never going to be good. They may get a couple upsets at the beginning of the year. They're rare. Like if they get a conference championship, it's going to be a rare opportunity, just because it just happened to be like that, or happened to be a shitty year or something like that. Otherwise, they're never going to get that. Because I remember the year that they talked about, I think it was 2009. The Iowa Hawkeyes football team were supposedly so good they were going to win the conference championship and to have a great bowl opportunity, and they absolutely got their shit kicked in by Ohio State, which I hate Ohio State too, but that made me happy because I hate Iowa more than I hate Ohio State. So, yeah, that about sums up my feelings on that.
Nice. I think we have a handful of Iowa Hawkeyes. Was it Jen and Ryan are both in Iowa, right?
Oh, I've voiced my opinions to them.
So I guess you're going unpaid on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely unpaid on that.
All right.
But it was frustrating. It was frustrating because like we've had a handful of like Iowa had a tight end that was really good. I think he came out of Bellevue, Nebraska, which is like Bellevue, Nebraska is actually the city that I live in right now. It's basically Omaha, but south of the county line in a certain area, like up from a certain area of Omaha, but it's all basically part of the Omaha metro. Mm-hmm. There's a kid from Bellevue that was really good. Never got recruited by Nebraska. Like never had any opportunity to go play for Nebraska. And he ended up going to Iowa instead and ended up kicking the shit out of Nebraska playing for Iowa. So it's just one of those, it's like, how the fuck are we not trying to recruit this kid when like he's obviously a stud, like going playing pro right now. Yeah, so it was frustrating, but I mean, our program has had its ups and downs for the past handful of years. A lot of years.
I'll do a little bonus question for you. Best Nebraska football player of all time, and favorite Nebraska football player of all time. or your era, however you want to take it.
The one I remember the most vividly is the '97 season because I know that's when we won the national championship. Because I think that's the same year. Yeah, it was the same year that because I remember watching the game against Missouri. Scott Frost was the quarterback, and he made a pass, and somebody tipped it up, and Matt Davidson ended up coming and catching it for a touchdown to win the game against Missouri, seal the undefeated season. Because Matt Davidson was also he grew up in a small town, 30 miles south of my hometown, so it's always like I didn't appreciate it at the time as much, but like now, like in the past 20 years or so, like when you see somebody from a small town from Nebraska playing for the University of Nebraska, being as good as they were, like that makes my heart happy. But so yeah, the '97 season was probably my favorite. As an adult, I couldn't tell you because we haven't had a good season since then. I will say it was very nice seeing Nebraska beat Ohio State. I want to say it was 2010 because I think it was the first year that we were in the Big Ten, 2010 or 2011. So that was probably my favorite game as an adult.
Nice. All right. Well, I think as Joey would put it, you did pass, and you got the cool beans and all that. And this is where we normally will hand it over to you if you have anything for us, if you want to ask us anything or any topics you want to cover before we wrap it up. Or
No.
we'll probably just dive right in, honestly.
Before you do that,
Oh.
I guess I'm gonna have one of these.
Oh, you didn't drink that when she brought that to you like 2 hours ago? I thought you already.
No, this is another.
No, she got a refill.
Oh,
yeah,
Jesus Christ.
Lou is a bad influence.
It sucks to be you guys for tomorrow.
Ugh, fucking right. It sucks to be me going to the bathroom like 8 times during this podcast. Like, fuck. Cheers.
I'm like,
it's what we train our livers for, Buzz.
Enjoy as they take the shooters down.
Oh, I drank so much water today in preparation for this because I was just like, I haven't really like been drinking this week. So I was like, okay, all right, yeah, it's going to be Lou. I'm going to have a few drinks with them. It's going to be fun. I better get hydrated. And I'm paying for that. I've dipped out like 4 times during this podcast.
It's a battle, brother. It is a battle.
Yeah, I just assume you're wearing a diaper at this point.
No, the amount that I had to pee is pretty bad. Thankfully, I've been able to hold it pretty good for a long time. So, yeah. So
yeah, all those Kegels, all those Kegels.
Something like all that bracing is just doing really good.
So do you have anything you want to talk to us about? Any questions you have for us?
Shit, I'm really bad at this part.
No worries.
That's fine. Usually this is one of those ones where people ask us something they think that is going to be controversial or hard for us to answer.
It's not my style. I don't like being controversial. I gave up on that stuff.
Oh no, by controversial it'll be like, hey Joey, how do you like your chicken, breaded or not breaded? Like it's no way.
We inevitably make something controversial.
I don't want to ask. I don't want to ask the dumb questions. Like, oh, drums or flats, ranch or blue cheese, or whatever the fuck, like whatever those questions are. Because one, who cares? It's chicken wings. They're going to be good regardless.
I have a
boneless chicken wing.
Wings suck. I hardly like drums. I hate wings. I hate wings with a passion. I've made that my opinion on that note before though. So, but no, I will eat them. But if I could pay an extra $1 to get all drums, I would go to town on that. I don't know.
Pretty sure most places that probably wouldn't have an issue with it. But
yeah. Well, the other thing is, when we do get a bigger order of wings, my wife only likes wings and flats, whereas I only like drums. So it's kind of a good match.
Oh, I got one controversial. Well, like, sure, yep. Just a sticker. I got one potentially controversial one, depending on the area they're in. Keith, this may be very controversial to you. What is your opinion on Casey's Pizza?
I came so close to getting one the other day. I've never had it. But funny enough, when I was in Aberdeen, when I was in Sioux Falls, I was driving around with Big Matt, one of the many Big Mats. We were driving around I think the night before, so it would have been Friday night when we got in, and I drove by a Casey's, and they were like, oh, we should get pizza here, and then I was like, we ended up going somewhere else or whatever. But I was just like, I almost had a Casey's Pizza, but I did not get to it. But goddamn, I've heard about it so many times between everyone at that like Mason and Paul and Bryce were all talking it up, I think, and then obviously Tom and Tom never shut up about Casey's Pizza, but I've never
So,
had it.
so Joey, whenever you're in the Midwest again, I don't know how prominent it is in Ohio when you come back there, but when you come back to old Western Northeast South Dakota, whenever you get an opportunity to, is if you're going to be in the Sioux Falls area, I'm not sure how many there are in Minnesota. If you find a Casey's Pizza, stop there, grab yourself a slice of pizza, have it. I promise you will not be disappointed. I got into an argument a handful of times from one of my buddies from Hybrid. His name is Jeff. Super good dude. Very opinionated on his pizza, but he also grew up in Connecticut. So that's New York Northeast area. Mm-hmm. They're very, very, very opinionated on the pizza.
They're weird about their pizza.
He cannot fathom the fact that there is a pizza from a gas station that is actually good. It's like, I'm not like that. That just doesn't make any sense. It's like, brother, I understand your point, but the thing is like that, like, try and think of it as Casey's isn't a gas station that sells pizza. It's a pizza place that sells that. It's a pizza place that just happens to be a gas station. Like, that's the best way I can try and describe it, because like, I don't know if I've ever actually had like their pizza like from takeout. I usually just buy it by the slice there. I had two of them this afternoon. That were really good, of course.
I hear the breakfast pizza is to die for versus like it's like the breakfast pizza is like their claim to fame versus like a pepperoni or whatever.
Another strange question.
Yeah.
Beef pizza, hamburger pizza.
Ew.
There's not hamburger pizza as in like a hamburger style, like with cheese and pickles and all that, just hamburger, but just a pizza with just hamburger on it.
I was going to say, there's a place in my town that does a Big Mac pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's delicious. But just randomly putting hamburger on a pizza? Nope. I've never done it. Don't think I would, unless I was going for the Big Mac pizza.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Yeah.
I love me some trash pizza. I love me some good pizza. And hamburger pizza is not a bad pizza.
I would try it probably. I might have had it before. Dude, what I had today, actually I've had it two separate places in the last like month. I've seen it. I've never seen it before. Philly cheesesteak pizza. It's fucking amazing. So I'm a huge Philly cheesesteak fan. Like if I'm at a restaurant and I don't know what to get, I'm getting the Philly cheesesteak like 9 times out of 10. Like if it's just like it's safe, it's 9 times out of 10 it's a safe sandwich to get. But yeah, two separate places. They both had their different takes on it, but it's just like, wow, this is pizza that tastes like a Philly cheesesteak. It's fucking awesome. So that would give a 10 out of 10. Just burger. I don't know. Is it burger and pepperoni, or is it just like?
I'm a big fan for Meat Lovers Pizza, but I mean, like if it's just hamburger pizza, it's still good.
It'd be interesting.
When it comes to food, I'm not going to tell you something that I wouldn't think you'd like.
Yeah. I've probably had it at like a buffet or something once, but if I did, it wasn't memorable because I do remember I think there was a cheese. I can't remember. It might have been. It was almost like fuck. I can't think of the word I'm going for. Never mind. What the fuck? Why can't I think of?
You're the sober one.
I know.
Get the fucking words out.
What is like the hamburger helper? It was like they just put hamburger helper on a pizza, and it was the weirdest.
Lou's just taking us for a walk now. Great.
I think we're going to the bathroom with Lou.
Don't worry, you'll be muted and.
That's all good. Honestly, if we can wrap it up. And honestly, I think we're good. If you have anything else for us, I don't know the listeners. I don't want to.
Oh no, I wouldn't subject him.
Gotcha. Well, we are gonna. I'm pretty content. I think we're gonna move into probably. I don't think we're gonna waste a lot of time doing the affiliate ad reads anymore. I'm just kind of I want to just start mentioning them at the end to hit on them, but I don't know unless it kind of like hits. Unless it's really pertinent to the episode, I don't think. I think we're good. We had a little change and some additional income to the podcast for specific needs when they arise. So I'm not gonna harp on
So anyway, we've got 4 codes. We've got Obsidian Ammonia, we've got Plate Snacks, and we've got
Barbell Rescue,
and Home Gym Con. I don't know anything about Home Gym Con, but those other 3, use code unpaid. I've got my own personal code as well for one of those. Go use those. Give us we don't actually get much out of them, but like
Yeah,
you
it's
get to
pennies.
save like 10 to 15%,
Yeah.
which is fucking dope, right?
Yeah.
Lou, you, we didn't get Big Mad on.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. He's coming. We're working on it. We're actually in talks. Big thing right now. Like if you see something that's like big secret guest or something, just assume it's going to be Matt because like that's something we are desperately working on hard to get him on.
He did have a
What matter are we
fire,
talking about?
mostly squats.
Mostly squats.
He
Yeah.
he somehow managed to avoid being on the podcast the last 71 episodes, but he had I hope it was his meme. I don't think he does any reshares, but the one about I was gonna be a porn star, or no, something they said like my dick's so big I became a porn star, but all I wanted to be was a meme creator page or something. I just
No, that wasn't him. That was
Okay.
yeah,
I
that
swear I saw it
was
on his page though.
no.
Maybe not. Well,
Dude, the amount of people that I've had send me Matt's
yes,
memes,
Yeah.
and every single
Twice a week.
time,
I believe it.
and every single time, first thing I tell him is like, dude, that's one of my buddies that made that. Like, it's honestly one of my favorite videos. Is what was it? God, what contest was it? Was it it was some sort of reveal. Essentially, it was one where he was just pretending to be everybody. He's like, well, you can't win this contest as you because everybody hates you because you won the last one. It's like, oh, what if I do it as somebody else?
It was the Scant reveal one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I won that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they couldn't let Matt win.
Well, no, because he just wasn't as good as me on that one.
I'm trying to remember back. Like the biggest reason I remember Matt's was he just did everybody, and then mine was at the end. It had the fireball shooter, the bush light, the fanny pack, the chucks, the jorts.
That was very good.
He pulled up pretty goddamn well. And the old lift hard, live easy was the first time. Well, it was the first time I met a lot of the guys there. Mm-hmm. But like I met Big Eddie originally at the Arnold. Met both of you at the Arnold.
Yep.
And yeah,
it was a good time. So you outside of Lift Hard Live Easy, you've probably met a fair amount of. Have there many crew in Nebraska that you've met, or anybody that you've?
Matt Sundling is one of them. That's here in Omaha. Like, was he at the Lift Hard Live Easy? Like, I'm gonna feel bad for asking. He
was, but I didn't know him then. But he was actually the Matt I was referencing earlier when we were driving around in Crew Falls.
Because I can't remember if
he did mention
that. I can't remember when I met him. But no, he trains at one of my gyms, so I've seen him a handful of times. I saw him on my birthday too, so that made me really happy. Nice. Saw him in the jorts, doing some foam rolling. I'm like, I recognize that motherfucker there. Hell yeah!
That is awesome. It's always fun seeing each other in the wild.
Oh yeah, and anytime I go to the gym and I see somebody in like a Massonomic shirt, hoodie, anything like that. Like if I don't know, like especially if I don't know them, I'm gonna point them out. I was like I saw somebody at the gym one time and they were in a white lift shirt, and like I saw that, I'm like, brother, like that shirt's fucking great. Like I've made sure to have to tell everybody. It's like whenever you see somebody in a t-shirt that you absolutely love. Like I did it one time in a Walmart, and somebody was wearing a Pizza Planet shirt from Toy Story. I'm like, dude, that shirt is great. Like, please wear that more. Like, please bring more of that out.
Well, I think you'll definitely get a handful of new followers. Obviously, Big Lou, you're an old school guy. You should be. Most people that are in crew already follow you, but we've had such an influx of new crew that like I'm getting people following the page all the time, and I have to like DM. I'm like, "Are you crew?" And they're like, "Yeah." They keep like surprising me when they say yes because they only have like one or two mutual friends with us. So there's a shit ton of new crew that just like haven't really spread their wings on Instagram yet. So don't be surprised if you get like 20 new followers in the next week when this episode hits. But yeah, you want to go and tell everybody where to find you again one more time? We'll start wrapping this up.
So fair enough. If you want to find me, you can go ahead and find me in the old Instagrams. Find me at Lou Nutter. Pretty easy to spell. Like I said, I post a handful of lifting videos. You see me drinking beer and Fireball occasionally, and some dogs. And Alex tags along with on my Instagram sometimes. So it's a good place to find me, see where I'm at, see what I'm doing, which probably ain't much aside from lifting and drinking.
All right. And you can find me, Nate, and Joey on Instagram at Unpaid and Underrated Podcast, the website, unpaidinternpodcast.com. My personal Instagram, KeyTonyGet73. Be sure to follow my Orange Gym, the No Wine Cellar. And where are they going to find you, Joey?
Joey underscore Malesko, MLECZKO. Like I said, I keep blowing that off and keep getting new followers. And like a weird fucking thing about Instagram is I haven't posted in a week and I was like, oh, I'm gonna lose followers. I'm still gaining followers. So Instagram's wild. Instagram's wild. But yeah, beyond that, Lou, see you in July. Um, let's keep this train rolling. Big things come in 2024 for unpaid and underrated.
All right,
Hell
crew.
yeah.
We'll see you next Tuesday.